You know, if you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent.
Was that the signal?
Is that it? All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a exciting episode of The Decent Show. I'm Ryan Money, joined by Reagan Horton in person for once.
What?
It's exciting. And Reagan, what's shaking bacon?
None, dude. Just seeing these movies, having opinions on them. It's good to be back here with you. It's good to be looking you in the eye when I tell you I don't like things.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good idea.
Look me right in the face. But the other thing I was going to say is I've noticed you've been seeing a lot of summer movies, and the summer's kind of weak. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely weak.
It's been really weak, but I haven't seen John Wick or Rocket Man. I did want to see both of those movies. Some not passionately, but like I was like I want to see them.
I feel like John Wick was in theaters for like 5 seconds because I
Avengers
tried
is
to
still
see
in theaters.
it. Yeah,
But John Wick and Rocket Man and all these other movies have come and gone.
I don't know why. Usually they take movies out of theaters when they stop making money. So I guess those movies didn't make as much, or they probably just didn't have as much interest as like I guess Avengers does because people just want to go back and see that. But I guess really no reason to go see Rocket Man twice in theaters.
I don't know. I heard two dudes kissed a lot, so
In Rocket Man?
yeah, it's about Elton John.
Oh, that's right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know why.
It's not about space
That.
or James Harden.
That's what it was.
Yeah, most people thought it was about James Harden in Houston. At
Got
least.
robbed of that MVP.
He did. He's gotten second place, what, 3 or 4 times now?
Should have had first place this year, if you ask me. But,
Oh, I'm not saying he shouldn't have, but in terms of his resume, he's
I
got
have no
3 or
idea.
4 or second places. Because I think every year that Steph Curry's got 2 MVPs, and both of those years Harden got second, and he got second this year to Giannis, so that's for sure 3 automatically. I can't remember if he has another one somewhere in there. Yeah. There's the other thing I was going to tell you, like, since we're on the subject really quickly. I meant to ask you about it off air, and I think I even meant to ask Jordan about it. Shout out to Jordan. We were talking to him earlier.
Jordan.
Yeah, he was better. He had some opinions where I was like, okay. Like, we kind of saw on the
You hit
same
him
page.
with a really good joke where you were like, it's weird. Every time I see a superhero movie that's bad, they always throw like DC in front of it. Got him.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't like that one at all. I was really glad that he didn't like it, but he let it slide.
Oh,
So
yeah.
He's really matured. It's crazy.
I think that's how bad like things are. You know, just because
He can take that joke. He accepts it now.
if you can beat someone down like Jordan into like basically submission and like or I guess admission that like this isn't that good. Like
Yeah.
you really need to rethink your strategy. But
Oh man. So I literally just forgot. What were we talking about? Basketball.
yeah, sports.
So we're going to do an NBA free agency episode, so we don't have to dive too deep into this, but I wanted to ask both of you guys, like, what do you guys think of the fact that, like, they're almost not mentioning the Rockets at all? Like, every time I watch something, like, I know the Rockets haven't made any moves, but every time they talk about if Kawhi is going to come to the West, they're like, he should. The argument for him staying in Toronto is it's easier, and they'll go because the West is so tough, and they'll name literally every team but the Rockets. I've heard one person name the Rockets, and he named them literally last. He named everybody else in the West that is in the playoffs or on the cusp of the playoffs, and then the Rockets last. And then other people don't even mention them. Charles Barkley said everybody, and then the Pelicans didn't say the Rockets. Literally almost everybody but the Suns and the Mavericks and the Rockets. He said the Pelicans. But I'm not saying they're not going to be good.
They haven't proven anything yet.
Exactly. And they're all young players that are all unproven.
They'll be a great team to watch, I'm sure.
Oh, I'd love to
But
watch
they
them.
probably won't even win 30 games.
Exactly. Love to watch them. No problem with them. So what do you think of that? The Rockets not being mentioned. Do you think that because we try to trade our whole team, that it's going to ruin our chemistry and thus make us not a playoff team? Because other than that, we're pretty much second place every year.
Yeah, we are.
And now first place it doesn't exist anymore. The Warriors are for the time being. For the time being.
I think it's a little overblown. I think it is a little warranted because you can just feel Houston's chance is gone. Like, you can just feel it because
Do you not feel it because of the media though?
I just feel it
'Cause you're
just
not
as
in the
a
locker
fan.
room.
I just feel it as a fan. Like I just absorb. Like looking at the game. Like I kind of see, like you could kind of see the last year that like I guess the Lakers made the playoffs with Kobe or whatever. You could just see like it was just like this isn't their year. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like Kobe's too old. They're all too old.
What
like,
year
all
was
this
that?
stuff. It was like 2014, I think. It
Was
was
Pau Gasol still on the team?
Yeah, Pau Gasol was still on the team. I remember like Kobe had that like insane dunk over the Hornets or whatever. But this was like after Chris Paul got traded, I think. And I just remember like, oh man, like he dunked it, like, and I was just like, that was a nice dunk. But like they're gonna beat this team and then they're gonna lose to whoever they lost to. It wasn't the Mavericks that year. It was like whatever.
Spurs probably.
Yeah, probably the Spurs actually. Yeah. But yeah, like you could just see like Harden is still in his prime, still great, still phenomenal, but he's surrounded by people that have sort of peaked and are on their way down.
You don't think he's the problem?
Do I think he's the problem?
He does nothing off ball. On offense. Forget the defense. I don't care about his defense
No,
anymore.
me neither.
Defense is irrelevant. And actually, he does play better defense. So I'm not talking about his defense. Off ball offense, he does nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing. And to me, Tracy McGrady used to be a victim of this, especially when he started getting more injured. If he didn't have the ball, he's damn near half court.
Yeah.
And we're playing 4-on-5 on offense.
I don't think he's the problem. I think that is a problem, and he could definitely work on that and should work on that. But when you drop 30 every night, like I can't call you the problem. I just can't do it. And you're the best player on the team, and like I just
To me, it's
you're
just that.
good.
It's just that is really my problem.
Like what?
Just the off-ball offense. That's
Yeah,
literally his
I
only
wish-
problem. Because
I
I,
wish
don't
he'd
care
fix
about his
that.
defense, and other than that, he's the best player in the game.
I wish he'd fix that. I really wish they would win a championship because I just feel like they're good enough to do it last season. But I like every year
Since we have the same team, this year should be the year then.
it should be. But I feel like just that beef is gonna mess with us a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Paul's out for the rest of the season with an injury this year. Wouldn't be shocked.
Real or
like,
fake?
Real. Yeah,
You
I
just think
just
he's going to get it. And
he
you don't
just-
think we
he
could
seem-
still...
He just seems older. Like he just seems like a guy who's like he's giving it his all. Like I'm really impressed with his hustle and all that stuff. But it's just like your time has passed, and
He's still active and spry, though.
he is. But like once you get like we saw with LeBron this year, like he injured his groin and he was out forever or whatever. But and you know he's never gotten hurt or anything like that usually. And I just feel like something like that's going to happen to Chris Paul. And as much as I don't like LeBron takes way better care of his body than anyone, and he's like really resilient and all that other stuff. So he was able to come back and all that stuff. But I feel like Chris Paul is just he's on borrowed time. Like he's really getting to the point where I think he's going to start going down, and that's why no one would take him in
Trade.
free agency because we basically put him out there, and you know, I just feel like everyone's
When
getting
did
frustrated.
we put him out there?
Well, like there
when
was
we
just
signed him last year?
yeah, there was just names and stuff like you know like floating around before free agency started. Like the Rockets are going
But
all
not this
in.
year, the year before.
I'm talking about this offseason where they were.
He
They
wasn't a
didn't-
free agent this offseason.
I know. I'm saying trading, and like
Yeah.
I'm just saying like people. His name was thrown around like
Oh,
we're
I
trading
know.
everyone but Harden, or
I
we'll
know.
put everyone but Harden out
Yeah.
there. I just feel like when you're a team that has like that much chemistry issues, and you're obviously going to have some if everyone was going to be traded except for the best player who probably has an ego,
Yeah.
and you're kind of your second best player is getting up there in age, you're kind of you're.
But that
you're
was the
starting
thing.
to
The one
wonder.
trade that we were involved in didn't involve Chris Paul.
It was for Jimmy Butler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it involved Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, and Clint Capella. Three people I don't want to get rid of. Because Eric Gordon and Capella are still good. PJ's the
there's-
oldest.
Yeah.
PJ's the
I
oldest.
love PJ, but
But
yeah,
he's the best.
old.
He's the best out of those three. He's second best out of those three because I guess you give the nod to Capella. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I want to keep him. But Chris Paul wasn't involved in that trade.
It would have been dope if we could have gotten DeAndre this offseason. That would have been dope.
Why didn't we?
I don't know because we didn't want to get rid of Capella
Capella, yeah.
because we just signed him to like $114 million contract.
Capella
or
and
whatever.
DeAndre to me are the same, and Capella's younger. Like DeAndre
Yeah.
is more dominant, but DeAndre's on the downslide. I'm surprised he was still good this past year or two.
Yeah.
Because he's over 30.
I'm just speaking like it would have been awesome. Like I don't think it would have been the better move. It just would have been awesome because
Yeah.
we would have had Chris Paul and DeAndre again, and I don't know. DeAndre's just like way more flashy and like just more of a powerhouse.
Okay, so just back to the question so we can get on the movies, though. You don't think the Rockets have a chance this year? Do you think chemistry is going to plague us and that these media people are kind of right by not mentioning us?
The media people are overreacting. The Rockets
course.
are going to be in the playoffs. The Rockets are going to be contender, but it's just a sad fact that I
You're
think
not as
that
confident as you should be.
I'm not as confident as I should be, and I think that the rest of the West has gotten more balanced, and that really helps us out. But we've opened ourselves up to a little bit of fair like criticism of our how good are we, because we're getting to the point where like you could almost call Harden a choker because of just like not because he doesn't play well in the postseason, but just because he can't get to the dance, he can't get to the finals.
Took Jordan 7 years.
It did take Jordan 7 years, but Jordan's the exception, not the rule. I think it's the exception, not the rule.
Well, I don't know. All right, let's get
what year is Harden in? Harden's in his like 10th at least.
Oh yeah, probably.
Because he went with the Thunder in 2012, and that couldn't have been his rookie year.
That was before year 7 though. So you could almost say
great.
He's better. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's get to these movies.
Yeah, let's get to the movies. We'll talk more about NBA free agency in the upcoming future. We'll probably still talk more about the Rockets and James Harden, but definitely going to talk about all the other moves. I've got them all liked on Twitter, so we'll be able to cover everything. So are we going to Toy Story 4 first, right?
I'm just going to quick do my thoughts on the other two movies I saw.
Oh yeah,
I was here on the plane, and basically I was like they had the TVs on the back of the seats. It was really cool.
Love that. I thought they got rid of it.
Oh, dude, it was great. I thought they did too, honestly. I haven't seen it in a long time. But yeah, I saw that. And so the guy next to me fell asleep instantly, and he was watching Dumbo. And then I was scrolling through the channels, and I was watching Alita. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to watch this.
You keep calling it Alita.
Alita Battle Angel.
Oh.
Yeah, the movie that came out in February.
I thought that was slang for Aladdin the whole time you were saying.
No, I was being very culturally appropriate. Crap, we got to talk about Aladdin too. Anyway.
Yeah.
Or I guess I do. But
loved it.
But so like I was listening to like a podcast while I was probably The Decent Show. It's the greatest podcast ever made. Anyway, I was listening to like a podcast and I was just sort of scrolling through channels because I thought it would make me pay for it, but I guess it didn't. It only like there are some things that were free, some things that you had to pay for. You didn't have to pay for the movie, so I was just watching it, and I never took my headphones out and never put like headphones into the seat.
So you watched Alita.
So I watched it with no sound, and I watched Dumbo with no sound at the same time because like as one shifted into boredom, I went to the other one, and I just kept bouncing back and forth. Let me tell you, that's how you are meant to watch movies like that. It was great.
Watching two movies at the same time, both with no sound.
No, both with no sound
and no subtitles.
Yep. And I got the context of pretty much everything that was happening, except for I got a little frustrated because I was like, man, what is going on in this movie? And I was just like,
so now you know it's like to be deaf.
Yeah, no dud. I don't know what's going on. I'm not listening to any of the dialogue. But Alita was like really cool visuals.
So
really
live
cool.
action or animated?
It's live action, but it's like everyone's a cyborg basically.
Do we know the main actors?
No one in there is noticeable except for the guy who's in those Tarantino movies. He's the main good guy helping out Django Unchained, and he's in Inglourious Bastards. He plays like the Nazi bad guy, main bad guy. Christopher Waltz. Christopher Waltz.
Bad guy in Bond.
He was in there. He was great. Great dialogue from him. Great mouth movements. No, but anyway, there was decent action.
Yeah, no doubt.
There was decent action in it. There was lots of like it was pretty fast paced. Every time like she has amnesia, basically spoilers. She has amnesia for this movie, and she like every time
just
it goes.
about to watch.
Yeah, I'm sure. Every time she goes back, like she remembers something. It's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. She's like, it goes back to her with like 6 other chicks, and they're all just like fighting on the moon in like zero gravity, and they're like lasering people, and they're getting like cut in half, and it's like really awesome. Really enjoyed that. Wish the movie would have just taken place there.
It's so hard to listen to you talk about a movie you didn't listen to. Like I want to watch a movie and like have it on the wrong input so I can only hear it and can't see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, it's great.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyway,
it's
yeah.
Badass action.
That stuff was good. I can tell you right now, though, it would have been a way better movie if there was sound. But no, if there was less young adult like love story in there, like they definitely put that like down your throat at all times.
Only reason I go to the theater.
But I got to give it to them. They had the balls to kill the male lead, and I was like, yes. Because I was looking at this guy, and I was like, money would dump on this dude's face. Because you always got a thing for, like, dude's love story with, like, a face or whatever.
Yeah.
His face looks stupid in this movie. He's got, like, this weird, like, haircut that goes over the back of his head and then sticks out more and then comes back in. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and it made me laugh so hard.
And he dies.
He dies, yeah. And he dies pretty brutally, too. This thing, like, slices him into 15 different pieces. And then he just, like, falls off this, like, rope thing and just falls into this cloud. It was really satisfying. Dumbo, Tim Burton film. Glad I didn't see it because it's definitely a Tim Burton film. It's very... Weird, dark, kind of depressing, puts you in a terrible mood. I don't know how anyone likes his movies, basically. I was like...
Aaliyah Battle Angel?
Yeah. I just felt really bad for this elephant the entire time because they make the elephant look so like adorable, I guess, just very like likable, and they just treat it like shit the entire movie. Like they just beat it and like, oh freak, like they're pointing at it and they like they don't try to kill it, but they set it to the top
Can
of
he
this.
talk?
The Dumbo?
Yeah.
No.
So he just knows, he can tell by their tone that they're making fun of him. Like it makes him sad that they.
Yeah, because like he's got those big floppy ears, and
Yeah.
you can just tell because of the facial, like the elephant's face gets like, oh, why are you doing that? Like
He doesn't talk.
No, and then they'll hit it and they'll like throw it and they like all like point and like laugh at it. Basically, yeah, I couldn't stand that. I'm surprised it even ended on a somewhat happy note just because of how dark and depressing it looked.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad I didn't see that movie in theaters. And yeah, I'd give them both like, I'd give Dumbo like a Loki Garbo. I don't know how anyone likes that.
It was low-key Garbo. You haven't heard it, but it's low-key Garbo.
Exactly, dude.
So
I'd
wait,
probably
what
like
is
it even
Aaliyah?
less. I'd give it like a decent.
Oh, wow. Is
Yeah.
this the guy, this white guy here in the black and white?
Ed Skieran.
Yes. Is that the guy you're talking about that I would hate to die that got cut in half?
The love interest is. Where does he? Oh no, he's Kean Johnson.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm glad he's dead.
No, when you see him in the movie, or well, you won't see the movie, but like if
I'll
you
see
see it
it.
in the movie, it's pretty hilarious.
I'm watching it
Anyway, let me get through all these movies. Actually, you start off. Let's just talk about Toy
tonight.
Story,
God,
so I can have a
how
break.
are her eyes so big? How is this live action?
It just they CGI'd her face.
That's annoying.
I mean, it was really, it was like half cool, like how like intricate and like weird all these like people are because they have these like robot arms and tentacles and weird, like it's just very like creative design. I would say, like you know how there's like really generic monsters in Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
Never could call this movie generic. Got to give it props for that. Props for killing the main the main love story, and and for like how creative it was. But like at the same time, like I love CGI in movies. Love seeing like weird, cool stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, there's a little bit too much in this movie. Like it's like almost overwhelming. Like
Yeah.
it's just so much, especially because your main character is like 75% CGI.
He says a lot of action.
Yeah,
I kind of want to watch it.
dude, it's
I
a
kind of
movie.
want to hear it. Like, you know.
Dude, same. I hear it's good. I get it.
I don't get it. Now, okay, so you covered Aaliyah, gave it a decent for now until you
For
hear
now,
it, and
yeah.
then you get Dumbo, Loki, Garbo. We'll watch that too.
I'm
and
not
then,
watching that
and
movie.
then Aladdin. The
You talk about Toy Story
no,
4.
God, no.
I gotta get through Aladdin too.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it, so it'll be quick.
Surprisingly good. Surprisingly good. I don't know.
Did
Have
you
you
see
seen
the animated movie?
Yeah.
Is it exactly the same?
Pretty similar. Yeah.
Okay, because they like showed like scene for scene on like something
Yeah. It's
saying that
really,
they like played it safe and that they kind of just
It's really similar. It's almost the exact same movie. There's not.
is that a problem?
No, because it's a live action remake. So I don't. What am I really trying to get out of this? You know.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I went to this movie and I saw Captain Marvel, I saw Avengers. Like I've seen a lot of movies that I've been like kind of excited or interested to see. This is the first one in a while that I've gone and been like, I don't know, and you know, like I was very much like when is this over? But like honestly, it didn't bother me as soon as it started. Will Smith is great in the movie. Like he's phenomenal. Like it's almost to the point where I would recommend you see it because it's actually not as bad as you would think. Not that it would be bad, just not for you as you would think.
Oh, I wouldn't like it, and I will watch it because I don't think I ever watched the animated one. If I did, it was at like school or daycare, not paying attention.
You know, I wish Robin Williams wasn't dead, and I wish they could have done this movie with him because I think a lot of his humor would be a lot better now.
He's the genie, right?
He's the genie, and he does a lot of like impersonations, and like he changes his face and everything to look like Jack Nicholson, and he does like he does impressions of all these different people
In the animated movie?
in the animated movie. Like they're all every time he's doing a joke, it's for the adults, and everything else is for the kids, basically.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, like he does all these impressions. I'd love to see him do it today with like all the different memes and everything we got out there. He could do so much, like just so much fun stuff.
It'd be nice.
But like Will Smith isn't like that. He does more sort of generic humor, but it's actually well done. It's pretty well timed, and he delivers it well, and he makes a lot of funny jokes. And they do like I'm not a huge fan of musicals or whatever, but they do this one where you know you never had a friend like me, basically.
It's songs throughout the movie, right?
Yeah.
That's also why I would hate it.
Yeah, but there's a song called "You Had a Friend Like Me," and it's basically just a. It reminded me a lot of what we saw in Spider-Man, if you know what I mean.
No.
Like the Mysterio thing.
No. Because all I can think of is music, and they didn't sing and dance in
No,
Spider-Man.
but like it's just crazy stuff happening nonstop. Like it's just all these different environments and situations, and
during the song.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird stuff. Like it's just really fun to watch because he's
okay.
doing. He makes him like a puppet with his giant hand, and he's showing him you can have all this stuff, and it makes all this weird gold and I don't know. It's hard to explain, but there's a lot of like crazy acid trip worthy stuff going on during the song, and it's like really cool. There's a part in the movie where they added a new song because I remember shout out to Jordan again.
Oh God.
He was complaining about it in a really offensive way. I'm not going to repeat it, but basically the movie takes this new song where like the main girl basically says like, "No, I'm not going to listen to men. Like I'm not going to let you put me down."
Yeah.
And it does kind of it's just kind of weird. Like it does because it's the only new song. And it's just kind of thrown in there at the end, and it's like
the Me Too movement.
But for like, I mean,
we just gotta lean in, you know.
That would be more of like a rush in to me. But for a musical movie, for a Disney remake, for a movie I really didn't want to see, to be honest with you, that was pretty good. I'd give it like
careful.
I don't know, man. I'd give it like a decent.
Okay. Okay. I thought you were gonna say Mad Decent. I was like, oh.
I was thinking about it, but I was like,
right next
I
to
can't
Fuego.
give it to it because I don't really want to watch it again. But
I
I didn't mind seeing it. Actually, I enjoyed seeing it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Did Jordan enjoy seeing it?
Yeah, Jordan. But Jordan's favorite Disney movie is Aladdin. So, like, he was gonna love it no matter what. Probably.
Yeah, he's had some problems with some of their upcoming moves, but I guess I shouldn't repeat those either. No. Particularly a certain mermaid that may or may not be white. So,
man,
yeah,
good thing you didn't mention it.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to talk about it.
So, what Toy Story 4? Get to your thoughts.
All right, it's a movie. So Jordan mentioned this as well. Oh my God, dude! Whoa,
dude, this is the Jordan episode of the Decent Show.
Can we edit some of this out
so we don't he doesn't hear us mention him as much? You don't want that to go to his head or what?
Yeah, I think it's gonna go straight to his head. He's gonna be like, "You guys just agree with everything I say." I mean, I pretty much write the show. First 2 points of the game. So, he said it, and I agreed with it because it was very evident that Bo Peep is a strong, independent woman, and they made sure we knew that. And I kept waiting for them to use dialogue about it, and I was really glad they didn't because it was like, I get it, you know. So that was good. But it was good and it was annoying because I feel like at some points they're kind of just like putting it in your face, but then at the same time Woody's like, I'm a man, I'm the sheriff, you know. And so I'm glad that they let Bo Peep like do her thing, and she was pretty cool. But at the same time, like Jessie and who's the other chick? Is there another chick?
The Potatoes? Mrs. Potato?
Yeah. I feel like Mrs. Potato should have had, you know, I feel like she's kind of the secretary of the group, and they really should have given her more of a managerial role.
My mother's making roasted potatoes.
I feel like they should have gave her more of a managerial role. Not the doll. I give up. Anyway, Jessie was like, and the OG crew were really uninvolved in the movie. It was almost to the point where Buzz was almost uninvolved in the movie. Which I found interesting just because...
Yeah, he was barely there, wasn't he?
Yeah. But I mean, when he was funny and everything was good, but he was like barely involved. And the OG crew was hardly involved at all. And it's just, especially when they had Bo Peep like balling out, you would have thought that like Jessie would have gotten in there for like some girl teamwork because, you know, women got to stick together. And I feel like that's a big problem that they're dealing with right now. And so like girls sticking together. And so I just figured Jessie would like get to do her thing, and she didn't. I was really surprised how uninvolved she was, considering we haven't really seen Bo Peep in the other movies. I didn't see Toy Story 3, though, so I don't know.
She wasn't in Toy Story 3, I don't think.
And she was barely involved in 1 or 2.
Yeah, she was mainly just like, hey.
And now all of a sudden she's like the big
because
deal.
she was an Andy's toy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's some of my first thoughts. And the other thing, real quick, they always make you want to cry. I kind of that's the reason why I don't watch some of these movies. That's why I don't watch these kids' movies. I don't feel like crying sometimes.
Especially not at this kind of movie, you know.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it's not even that. It's just I don't want to.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
I'm
don't
tired
either.
of it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
especially when I'm like, I don't even want to see this movie, and they're making me cry right now because I didn't want to see it. It was the only thing to see.
It's funny that as soon as I saw as soon as like we sat in our seats and like I saw like them say goodbye in the rain or whatever, I was
in the
like,
box. I was like, oh my god.
I literally said out loud, I was like, man, this movie's gonna destroy us. Wasn't as bad as I thought, but it was still pretty sad.
I saw
That's
it in the
actually my
morning.
main problem with the movie. If
What?
I had to pick
It's
a
not
problem,
sad enough.
no, we'll get to the end.
What's
We'll
your
get to
main
the end.
problem? The ending.
Yeah,
The main problem is the ending.
yeah, that's my only real problem, honestly. I mean, like,
I guess you're gonna have to get into that for sure because I don't get what you're talking
yeah, I
about.
don't know. Don't let me stop your train of thought.
I don't have a
Just
train
go
of
ahead. Well, get back on it.
Oh, I saw the movie in the morning, and so I don't know what it is. Like I'm not all in check in the morning. I don't know what if I'm more likely
You
to
didn't mow
cry
the
in the
lawn.
morning. Yeah, I haven't mowed it yet, so I'm really upset.
You gotta start your day with a nice mow of the lawn.
Yeah, I was like, we can't do a morning movie. The yard, you know, what are we gonna?
It's gonna grow out of control.
We're gonna have to stop by. I guess we have to stop by the Home Depot after the movie. I don't know if I have enough time, but yeah, I don't know. I was like, I don't feel like crying this whole movie, and they like set it up like 3 different times, and I was like, can we just go? Like, but luckily it was a short movie. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
I did enjoy. I felt like it was efficient, told the story appropriately in an efficient amount of time, and overall, like, really was a good movie. And I already said that the crew was like, oh, the other thing is like now that they're in the world, like somebody would spot them.
Yeah.
There's too many toys running around for them not to be spotted at some point by somebody with a phone. Too.
Is a bit much.
And it's fine, you know. We get it. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. And then last note, honestly, Key and Peele. I thought they were funny. I thought they could be funnier.
I didn't realize that was Key and Peele. Those guys, those were really funny characters. Like,
Yeah.
probably the best.
You already
parts
know
of
who
the
I'm
movie.
talking about.
Yeah, the fluff and
The fluffy, Fluff and the fluffy
Duck
bunnies.
and Chick, I think, were their
Yeah.
names.
Yeah, that was Key and Peele, and they were really funny. They could have been even funnier, but I did think they were hilarious, and I loved it when they attacked the grandma. I didn't see it coming.
Yes, dude, so funny.
That was good. Oh, and then yeah, that's what I said. We kind of mentioned it. I thought Buzz was really funny, but like he was barely in the movie, and I didn't get that. And that was just kind of all my thoughts on.
He was the funniest part of
Toy
3.
Story.
I don't know if you remember 3, but he got you
Said
saw
earlier, I
3?
didn't see it.
Oh, he gets switched into French mode, which makes him like weirdly romantic with the Jessie girl. So like he like puts like a rose in his mouth and has like on top of his helmet like one of those French things, and he like goes up to her and is like, "What's up?" It's like very weird, but it's actually hilarious.
Oh god. All right. Well, I do want to go. I probably will go back and watch 3 because I was like 4 was actually really good, so I got to go see what's up with 3.
3 is devastating, dude. 3 is way sadder than this movie.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I don't want to see it.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, good. You convinced me. I won't see it. But I will see Aaliyah, Battle Angel, for she's easy.
Pretty short movie. Yeah.
I like it short, stumpy.
Good. Yeah. What other thoughts you got on this
No,
movie?
I want to
Is that
add
it?
that's everything I have on this movie. So I need to hear what's wrong with the ending.
I don't understand why they couldn't just go with the girl. I didn't understand that.
What girl?
Like
the little girl, the main girl,
Bonnie, yeah.
Bonnie.
Yeah.
Why? Who couldn't go with her?
All of the crew that Woody had promised were gonna go with, like, he was like, yeah, we got a girl, like, she's gonna love to play with y'all. Like, he promises the chicken duck that, and it's never brought up again, which is weird because they seem like, yes, dude, finally we're gonna get like a kid, and that never happened. Like, it was just they got to the end and they were like, yeah, we don't, like, they didn't even say anything. They were just like, all right, yeah, you're coming with us, Woody, right? We're staying here. They never really acknowledged it, but it just kind of bugged me that they're like, bye, Woody, like, we're saying goodbye to you. And it's like, why are you saying goodbye? Like, y'all could just all hang out together with Bonnie.
But I don't know.
I
guess because by the end of the mission, they all decided they came together and they were going to stay as a crew.
But they could have stayed as a crew with the girl. That's my
But
beef.
Bo Peep didn't want to go with the girl. Bo Peep wanted to stay independent no matter what. Now, the other people, you're right. I don't know. Duck and Chick, it
didn't feel right to me because, like, I was like, surely Woody could be like, yo, this is a girl. We're with a girl now. I don't even, like, she didn't even like me at all. Like, she wants a Barbie like you probably. Mm-hmm. So why don't you just come with me and it'll probably be that way. And if you don't like it, you can just run away from there.
What, Bo Peep?
Yeah.
She didn't want it at all. From the beginning of the movie, she didn't want to go back to a kid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why didn't anyone explain it to her? Like, yo, this isn't a little boy anymore.
She didn't care anymore. She wanted to see the world.
I know, but I don't know. It just felt it just didn't feel right. I was like, do they really have to separate? Like, I get this is like a sad moment, but I was just sort of like, it wasn't as sad because I was like, I kind of feel like this is not right. Like, I get how they're towards the end of the movie, like the very end of the
Who?
movie.
Oh, Canada dude. He was the other. Yes,
John Wick or Keanu Reeves.
That was
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves was John. Or
Yeah,
Dude, Canada or whatever.
yeah, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Because I feel like he wanted to stay independent. And he showed no interest in going with a kid, right? And then Bo Peep sure.
But
I'm just trying to cover the crew.
Yeah.
Bo Peep wanted to stay independent, and then Duck and Chick did not. They wanted to go with a kid. Who else is in the crew besides Woody?
Well, that girl got left with that other girl, the main bad guy.
Yeah, the main bad girl became good.
That one that's on her shoulder, that little cop.
Cop, yeah.
I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, so she wanted to stay independent too.
But like no one ever made the argument. Like there was never a strong enough argument made by Woody to be like, "Yo, come with me." Like, no, it's like it's lit in here. Like we got kids, we got parents.
It's not lit though.
But no one ever like.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Woody and you like found like this doll that you missed all these years, and you can bring her back with all your friends. Like,
but at the same time, Woody didn't really want to go back either. Woody was just trying to get Forky back so he could have purpose in his life because he knew that he wasn't getting played with anymore. So why would he want to go back if he's not getting played with and he got Forky back? Ideally, that's why he ended up staying because there was no point in him going with Bonnie. So why would he make the argument for it when he really shouldn't have been there to begin with? Because, again, he wasn't getting played with. He was literally the only reason why he's helping Bonnie out so much is because he just wanted to feel useful.
Yeah, and I like that angle. That was a good angle for the plot. I mean, I thought that was a pretty strong element. And at the end of the day, we're talking about a kids movie about toys. I don't want to get too hung up on it, but I didn't buy that ending. Like I didn't buy it, you know.
I was just so glad it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, well. So does whatever a spider can?
Yeah, well,
rating scale.
Yeah, what are you gonna give it? What do you think about the villain?
Yeah, they were good. Dolls were scary.
Yeah.
I thought everything
Pretty trippy.
worked. I think it brings relevance to antique shops. I feel like antique shops are mentioned in like pop culture TV shows and movies than they actually are visited and seen in real life.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
don't know of any.
Like they put them in movies. It's like the newspaper. Like they put the newspaper in like movies and TV shows. Like it's still a thing, but it's like is really anybody going to an antique shop or reading a newspaper? But they put it in these things like it's a thing. I don't get why.
Did you realize that the first?
I guess to service the plot.
Yeah. Did you see like the first Toy Story came out in 1994?
Yeah.
So that's like, you know, from then to 99. That's like 25 years, right?
To not.
Yeah, it's 25 years.
Okay.
Do you think that's 25 years for 4 movies? Do you think that's a little? I don't know. Do you think that's a little bit like slow?
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing they do with all their other movies.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people our age are having kids right now.
Right.
And so they're taking their kids to see a movie that they saw as a kid, but it's a new version so that their kid can enjoy it. Same thing they did with Finding Nemo and Dory, Incredibles 1 and 2, 4 Toy Stories.
I think it's a little bit too long, though, you know? Like, it's just a little bit annoying. Like, surely you could make this movie faster. I mean, the movies are always pretty good. Like, all their movies are good. So, like,
and
I
maybe
guess
that's why, because they take that long.
I guess they wait until, like, the right plot comes along.
Yeah.
But it just seems like, to me...
The other thing, too, Tom Hanks has been pretty busy. Tom Hanks is
he's been winning awards for all these, like, I don't know, like Steven Spielberg movies he's doing, like, in the fall and stuff. Like,
what are you talking about?
What movies? Like Bridge of Spies and, like, all these movies that come out at the late end of the year that are basically just like, hey, win an award for us.
Huh. He's been busy. I don't even know what movies he's been doing.
Well, then why are you saying this?
He's because I feel like every time I look, I'm like, oh, there's a Tom Hanks movie, and like I just don't go see them because none of them interest me.
Stitch.
Because they don't interest me. Like a lot of the movies he's been in, I'm like, I don't have an interest to go see, so I don't. But I know Tom Hanks. So I'm like, oh, another Tom Hanks movie.
Because like at the end of the movie, they show this thing where it's like Toy Story rights reserved or whatever.
The Post. That movie got awards, right?
The Post, yeah.
Yeah.
But all these movies that are, you know, kind of highbrow, like very like historically accurate or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they're of that ilk where they're They got a high quality director behind it. They got,
Yeah.
it's at the end of the year. It's
Yeah.
clearly about to win an award for something or
Yeah.
nominated.
Of course.
But like just when I saw that rights reserve thing that was like Toy Story franchise 1994 to 2019 because they like had the logo, I was like, it took you 25 years to make 4 movies, like, and they're great movies, but that's a little slow.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I
Yeah,
was a little bothered by it because like it kind of bugs me now that I think about it. Like it took us like 14 years to get an Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Like why couldn't, and that plot wasn't super complicated or like, it was a great movie, but it was still just, like I don't see why that took so long. And none of the main characters in that movie are really high profile actors. Like the dad's from, the only thing I've ever seen him in is Blades of Glory as the coach.
He's been in some stuff.
And the mom, the only thing I've ever seen her is in Batman vs Superman.
Rough.
She's the lady that's the piss jar thrown at her when they're in the courtroom. Do you remember that movie? She's that. Yeah.
Grandma sweet taste.
Yeah, piss. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you definitely remove some of that southern accent. It's Elastigirl. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, definitely. That is wild. I would just say it's because Disney Pixar, they're just huge, and every movie they make is epic. So I feel like it's a combination of they're always working on other projects.
Yeah.
And then whenever they do a project, they want it to be, the best that it can be because, I don't know, it's weird. They put out quality content. Like, I don't know why they want to do that. Why can't they just be like DC? Just pump out dumpster
Garbage,
fires
yeah.
every year. I mean, it's because you're going to get paid regardless. So why make it good?
But DC's doing a good thing right now. They're taking forever and they're putting out garbage because, like,
Can't wait.
Still waiting on that Batman movie.
Yeah. Well, because they said that at least by 2025 they're going to have an actor picked out for it. And then...
Yeah, he hasn't been born yet.
And
they're waiting for him to grow up.
And they have a Joker casted right now, so they need to recast the Joker at least 3 more times.
Where's your... I mean, we're totally off topic, but I mean, that's the show. Where's your, like, barometer for the Joker movie?
Oh, I can't wait.
Really? Think it's going to be hilarious?
I can't wait for every reason possible. You know what I mean? Like, it could be awful, it could be great.
Strongest amount of curiosity, basically.
Yeah, I'm dying to know how it is. Like, am I going to think... Because it could be mad decent. It could be, like, hilarious at some parts for the right or wrong reasons. They could be trying to be funny or not trying to be funny.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it could be one of those. And then it could be with, like, a big budget plot that goes nowhere. And then, on the other hand, it could be amazing. Or it could be awful the whole time. And I could just be like...
Of course,
yeah. DC, duh, like it says, dis crap. Like that's what DC stands for.
I'm telling you, whenever Suicide Squad 2 comes out, I'm flying to wherever you are. We're seeing that movie together. I gotta be there in the theater.
I've already got tickets. Whenever it drops in 2024 or whatever.
Exactly.
See, that's the thing. I have faith, or not faith. Like I agree, we should see it together. Obviously, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But like. It has a chance if they keep James Gunn.
Yeah. But I mean, remember what we thought about the last one, though? Remember how, like, hyped we were for that one? Because the trailers were so good and the cast was so good?
I don't know who the director was. I'm going to go look that up, actually.
David Ayer.
Has he done anything of relevance?
I vaguely remember something he's done, but I don't. It's not like, one of my all-time favorites.
I can't believe it.
You can't believe it?
That's not one of your all-time favorites. It has a 6 and a 40. That is so wrong. It should have
lower than that.
A 1 and a 10.
Well, that was like a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's pretty low.
Not low enough, but you're right. David Ayer, I do recognize that name. He did
War Dogs. I don't know.
Yep. No, he did End of Watch. End of Watch is a decent movie. Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena. Sabotage, a crappy Arnie movie, and something with Christian Bale. So he's had a taste of a lot of different annoying actors. It's very. Oh, he was...
You thought he directed Training Day for a second?
Yeah, I was like, dude, there's no way. He directed Bright, so I do hate this guy.
Oh. I didn't realize he directed that. That movie is... Did you ever watch that?
No. I honestly... I'm going to refuse to watch any Netflix movie until it gets, like, an Academy Award or something, because... dude. Every Netflix movie I've ever put on, I'm
What about Bird Box?
Never watched it. And I honestly, because of the memes, I don't want to. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's the best movie ever.
Exactly.
I remember seeing Machine Gun Kelly in it, and I remember that being about a month or two after Eminem roasted him alive. So I really enjoyed that.
Poor bastard.
Yeah, last time he was ever seen.
Home. He was the director of Home, which is Machine Gun Kelly.
I don't know what that
else.
is. Machine. I don't know.
I guess it's another movie, dude. It's a music video, I guess.
Oh. All right. Well, let's get to Spider-Man.
We need to. Yeah, we're behind here.
Yeah, dude, we're wasting time. Pretty
Waiting
much
on
doing
you.
what we always do.
He directed Fury. See, that's a good movie, dude. I'm so 50-50 on David Ayer right now.
Maybe we should just have this entire rest of this episode just dedicated to David Ayer.
No, but I do need to watch Sabotage now to see how much I hate it. So, but I'm not watching Bright. I don't want to do it. All right, so Spider-Man. What's going on with Spider-Man? There's a lot
Lots to talk about.
here. I have a lot of notes. Most of them positive. I
Most,
honestly,
yeah.
I love Spider-Man so much. I'm not gonna have a lot of negatives. I didn't really have any negatives for Toy Story either. Solid movie. I just don't like it because it's.
What are
a
you
kid
gonna give
movie
it?
and I
Yeah,
cried a lot.
we never ranked it.
Never ranked it. I'm just gonna give it a mad decent, just because it's not my kind of movie, so I refuse to give it a fuego because I don't want to watch it again. Again, it's not my kind of movie. I didn't want to see it to begin with, but I will acknowledge that it is a great movie, perfect kids movie. It literally checks all the boxes, and yeah. And I don't like crying. That's the other reason why I don't give it a fuego.
I'd give it a mad decent, barely not a fuego. I mean, like, for what it is, like, it's good. It's as good as you can make it, really. I had my beef with the ending, but that's just because I feel like 3. You haven't seen 3, but 3 is devastating. But like, it's sad for the right reasons.
Okay.
Like, it's just it makes perfect sense to me why it's so sad. And I'm like, yeah, this is a great movie.
I don't want to see it. I'm gonna.
Do you want me to just spoil it for you right
No,
now?
please don't.
Okay.
I think it's already been spoiled for me, but it's been long enough to where I forgot, so I need to
Okay.
just watch it or never watch it.
All right. Well, let's get to this movie. Pretty great movie.
Okay.
Spoilers. Just gonna go full spoilers. I don't know,
That's
dude.
rough.
Like
First
it
time.
took me a while to like settle into it because it was so kind of weird to start. It was just kind of a weird start because they play that like what do they play
Weird
that
memoriam.
weird yeah for
There's a
Tony
weird
Stark.
memoriam into the school news channel, which to me saved it because I was like, this is not a very good memoriam. And then the school news channel came in. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why it's not very good.
I don't know what it is, dude, but I'm like really a sucker for like really well-known songs that I don't necessarily listen to that much,
Yeah.
but them just thrown into like Marvel movies. I don't know, like because I remember whenever we watched Captain Marvel, I really dug that scene when they played "Come As You Are" like by Nirvana, and while she's in that trippy scene,
Yep.
I was like, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it really fit. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I was like really into that. But yeah, very weird beginning. I loved how they transferred into the news thing, and I love how the girl and the guy are still doing it, and they're still like so awkward and
Not good.
not good. It's great. I just love how she's like, yeah, Iron Man's gone. Like, it's time to move on. And she like turns to him and looks at him like, move on. Like, because he asked her out in the last one, basically.
Oh, dude, didn't even catch that. I
Yeah.
saw that. I mean, yeah, I didn't catch that.
Because there's like that weird thing where like, hey, you're going to the dance tonight. You want to go with me? And she's like, all right, next topic. Like, she just completely ignores him. And
I did like how he was like, yeah, now my younger brother is my older brother.
very weird.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude, nice.
Yeah, I was gonna wonder how they handled that whole thing with like half the people disappearing. I love seeing it again.
They
honestly.
acknowledged it, but they didn't. They didn't really harp on it.
No, I think they did that, and I think that kind of played into why they went on a European trip because I think they would have realized it's a little weird to have more than just like a class of like 15 people in a high school and them all be like weird ages and stuff. Like, because they would have had to really have dealt with that where it's a little more believable that like, hey, this group of 15 kids, they all disappeared and they're all in the same class and we're taking them on a school field trip, basically.
Except for the one guy.
Except for that one guy, yeah. And I liked how they kept like coming back to him and some of the humor they did in this movie. I would say like with a movie like Guardians and Thor Ragnarok, where the humor is like 95% or like really batting a high like average of just like every joke's landing. Either I'm like smiling or I'm like, yeah, that was good, or like I'm laughing. You know, I may not be like falling out of my chair, but I would say, dude, wake up. It's a hot take.
Dude. It's hot. Dude.
I would say like this movie is probably like 80-85% of the jokes land.
It was pretty funny.
Where I feel like, yeah, it was great. Great humor. I loved it. Just a little bit too much with that white Anglo male that was the teacher that wasn't the guy from Curb.
JB
always
Smoove.
black. Yeah.
Yeah, his name's It's either JB Smoove or JV Smoove. Either way, yeah. He's also in movie 43. He's the
He is.
diarrhea Pepto-Bismol guy with Chris Pratt, by the way, who I always forget. And Anna Faris is his girlfriend, dude. So many good people in that movie. Shout out.
Yeah, just a little bit too much of him. I feel like some of his jokes didn't land, and I kind of got a little bit tired of it as the movie went on.
And there was potential, though. That's what I was going to say. I have a note here. It says, teachers were funny, but they could have been funnier, because J.B. Smoove is a comedian.
He landed it sometimes, but other times...
he didn't get enough.
No, he didn't get enough,
and
or
the
they
white guy
had
got
too
more
much screen time.
Yeah. And the white guy, to me, got more opportunities when, to me, JB is the funnier guy anyway. And they could have been funnier. Like, every time they got set up for something, I was like, oh, this is going to land. And then it was, like, a couple times it didn't.
But it really landed to me whenever he talked to him, like, yeah, I mean, I got to pull you to the side, man. Like, you got to stop taking pictures of people in the bathroom. I'm talking about the urinal, the stall, no pictures. Like, just like, I don't know, the way he delivers it, like, it just so funny, dude.
Yeah, he's good. Okay.
Yeah, so the humor was great. Action was, like, phenomenal.
You need to re-see it.
I don't know. Yeah, I just saw it, and then Jordan was like, yeah, we got to go see it again. And I was like, I don't really want to see it again. But then, like, now it's been like 5 or 6 hours or so. So it's not like I'm about to, I mean, it's not like, hey, you go see a movie, let's go buy tickets to see it again immediately. I would be like, probably not. But now I'm like, yeah, I actually kind of want to, because that's another thing about this movie is it's like,
a lot happens.
It's only like 2 hours, like barely.
2 hours, 10 minutes, yeah.
And it feels even faster than that, because after we get through that initial, like, awkward, weird, sort of setting things up, which is all right. It's not like the worst thing in the world. It's just like nonstop. Like, we're going here, then we're going here, and then we're meeting Nick Fury. We're going here, we're going here. Here's Mysterio. We're going back and forth. Like, it's just nonstop. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot. It's really fast, especially compared to, like, Endgame, which is also an hour longer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the movie was awesome. Can't really say I'm, like, disappointed in any parts of it off the top of my head. No. I do have some notes here, but let's get just whatever you want to say out immediately. No, you're good? Okay, all right, let's go.
All right, we'll get out of here. Let's see. I don't want to go too far ahead. So, yeah, I loved Ned and the blonde girl. Yeah, dude. Okay, because I think Ned's hilarious by himself. I thought the blonde girl's hilarious by herself, and then they put together, and I thought it was great. I was worried they were going to overuse Babe too much, but they didn't. No. And so I loved it. And then their breakup, dude. Like, what? Like, it was the weirdest.
Now we're done.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, that's over. And then they're both just, like, romantic about the breakup. He's like, a flower has to grow or whatever. And she's like, you're so mature. And then they just leave. And I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. I thought Ned and the blonde girl. God,
dude, I don't. Oh man. That was so good. Go ahead.
Yeah. I thought MJ, I like MJ. Everything's cool. The only thing I would say is at times she was awkward to the point where it was kind of annoying. Mm-hmm. It was like, she's almost too awkward. Mm-hmm. Like, to the point where it wasn't believable awkwardness anymore. Mm-hmm. But that's really the only complaint that I can really come up with is just MJ. But that's the thing too. I still like her, and I like her character. I like how she's different instead of the typical MJ that we've seen. It's just sometimes she's awkward to a fault, where it's like, okay, dude, we get it, you're awkward, haha. Yeah, because sometimes those didn't land. Mm-hmm. They were making her awkward to be funny, and sometimes it didn't hit. And I was just like, But that was really the only complaint I had, except the teachers could be funnier. That was my other complaint from earlier. But other than that, everything. Oh, never mind. I found another complaint.
Nice.
I didn't like at first. I didn't like the villains. Mm-hmm. At first,
because they were nothing.
Yeah, it was just weird because whenever he hands him the glasses, I was like, okay, I guess this is where he turns evil. Because that was the other thing I didn't enjoy, is the fact that you knew Mysterio was going to be the bad guy. So the fact that we had to deal with him being the good guy, I was kind of like, okay, like, what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I was really antsy about that. And I guess that's not the movie's fault, I guess. But at the same time, just because I know Mysterio's the bad guy, I'm like, okay, where do these other people fit in? And, like, when is he going to screw them over? And I was just waiting for that to happen. I was kind of tired of waiting for it to happen. So when it finally did, it threw me off guard, the fact that he had, like, a team of rejects, basically, also in on it. Like, it just I don't know, it was weird. It threw me off. And, of course, they're all people that were wronged by Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. And they want to get back at him. So, to me, that's... I don't know how else you make up a villain. So, like, I'm going to complain about this, but I don't have a solution. Mm-hmm. I don't know how else you give a villain his motives to do bad things besides either money or disliking somebody.
Yeah.
And that's what it boiled down to. And it was just so typical. It was like, yeah, Tony laughed at my idea and he called it barf. I hate Tony. And then and they had to give us the exposition. I feel like CinemaSins always talks about this. He's like, yeah, thanks for word vomiting exposition to me. Yeah, like where they basically go, hey, we made this happen.
Who said that?
CinemaSins.
No. What she said. You said she said.
So Jake Gyllenhaal is explaining his motives,
And then he's explaining
and
all
everybody
theirs.
else's
Okay.
motives. And it's like we need to know that information, but it's a really annoying way of giving
They
us that
could have just done
information.
those scenes.
Exactly. But he has to word vomit it too, and it's like
It could have just
oh.
showed their faces and then showed them back then or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh great, you hate Tony, shocker.
I did like the callbacks to the original Iron Man
Yes.
and to Civil War. I thought those were both really cool.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of those, honestly.
And that is cool, and that's what we were talking about that outside the theater. You know, it's like it's really awesome how they can keep coming out with new movies and just reference in and create new moments in the timeline for
It
previous
is
movies.
it is oddly sasatisfying. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, dude, this is freaking sick.
And so at first, like I said, I had a problem with the motives, but I don't know how to make a better villain. So
Yeah.
it really by
It's a mixed bag.
by 5 or 10 minutes later, once they got past the word vomiting of their motives, I was like, okay, whatever, it's cool, I'm fine. And so it's like a complaint, but I can live with it because I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, going in, like, I assumed Mysterio was going to be the bad guy, but I think they did a good job in this movie where I never was sure that he was going to be the bad guy. Like, I was always, like, and I understand you were kind of antsy. I was antsy too, but I was like,
You almost bought it.
the longer they went, I was like, this is taking a really long time. I'm like, is he not the bad guy? Is there just another person in this movie they're going to throw in? So I was like, that would be sick. I'm really hoping that happens.
I was too, but I refused to fall for it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't. I was like blown out of my chair, but I was like, man, like it's really taking a while for this to happen, and I didn't understand the whole drone doing damage to things angle of it. So I was sort of like, well, I know his powers or whatever his gimmick is, like projections and just showing things off, and like it's all fake.
Yeah.
But how does he damage these real environments and stuff like that? That's what I didn't understand. So I was sort of like, well, maybe he's telling the truth, and maybe it sort of comes back later, that like he's a bad guy basically. But I don't know. I didn't really buy that he was the good guy, but at the same time, during the course of the movie, I sort of thought that they were going to make him the good guy at one point. But yeah, basically the whole thing with the drones kind of threw me off until I got to the point where I understood like they were damaging everything around him, because that's what really threw me off, is that there wasn't a clear explanation to why everything was getting damaged around him. Also wanted to comment on you're talking about like the Ned couple or whatever, Ned and his girl. Yeah. I loved how when he threw the glasses on and he was reading everyone's text messages, he was reading theirs. They were sitting next to each other. It was like, miss you too. And it was just like, oh gosh, that's so cringy, dude. That's so annoying. Anyway, yeah.
And he comes over to me and he's like, hey man, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm just really focused on my relationship right now, and I just haven't been there for you. And he's like, no, that's cool, I understand. He goes, and then like she's like, babe. He's like, coming, babe.
And it's like a 15-hour flight or whatever, so it's a long flight. But like they sat next to each other, and I was like, I bet they're getting together by the end of this movie. And then as soon as he gets off the plane, he's like, yep, dude, this is my girl right now. I'm like, what?
What happened to being a bachelor in Europe? Because man,
it's been like 15 hours. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, that part was dope.
And see, stuff like that was hilarious, and they like, I don't know, they weren't afraid to go there. Like a lot of Spider-Man movies aren't that funny. Like the other 5 or 6, Spider-Verse was kind of funny, I guess.
Yeah.
The other 5 just haven't been that funny, and I guess
the supporting cast is pretty weak in the other ones. Like, it's pretty. I hate it.
Yeah. And like Homecoming was pretty funny, but like this one was, I don't know, kind of wackier. Like you said, these were like, yeah, they're probably gonna date by the end of the movie. No, off the plane, like they're together.
Yeah, they're really just doing whatever they want. I loved how happy he threw he grabbed the shield, and I was like, is he gonna throw this shield like Captain America? And he does it in the most pathetic way I could ever imagine. It's like, man, he makes it look so easy. And I was like, God, that was so stupid.
That was good.
But it was cool to see like in the flashbacks them mention Civil War and Iron Man. It was cool just like throughout the movie, like how much they referenced. It was just cool to see like how much they referenced all the other stuff, like how much like they enforced that he was dead, and like now I'm really to the point where like you better not bring him back. Honestly, like I'm scared they're gonna try to bring him back because he's such a everyone loves Iron Man so
How can
much.
they can't though?
Dude, it's movies. You can bring anyone back from anything ever. Like no one's ever. The Emperor fell into a
Yeah,
pit,
I know.
electrocuted, and then that pit was blown up into space
Yeah.
for 40 years, and
Yeah.
then in the desert, and he's back, or he's coming back, probably.
You know,
Maybe, but whatever. But they
it's
hinted
the
at it.
Force.
Exactly.
He's one with the Force.
And forces with me. Yeah, let's just throw that line out as many times as possible.
I wonder if they did it this time. We didn't get to see the end of Rogue One today. I wonder if they like got out this time.
I'm like 50-50 on it, you know, because one time, you know, they can maybe get out.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. I took some minor notes here, taking notes.
Taking notes.
It's bothered me in every Spider-Man movie, and I don't think they've ever gotten it right, in my mind. Not very nitpicky, but it always bugs me how little he wears his mask in public.
Yeah.
It's just always like, put your dang mask on and keep it. It's your secret identity.
Oh yeah. Well, I forget. Never mind. So anyway, when does he have it off excessively though?
When he's on the bridge at the end with MJ, he's having that weird, awkward talk with her.
Yeah.
And
no one's around though.
But why couldn't they be? There's a ferry headed that way in about 5 seconds. You can see it in the water in the background.
They don't know him in Europe.
And then he has it off in the kitchen behind the homeless shelter thing.
And he's wait. What?
The homeless shelter, or whatever food benefit thing that Mary or
Yeah, it's not a homeless
Aunt May
shelter.
is doing. Whatever.
It's a benefit.
Is it?
Something.
They were helping people who got like flashed away and came back.
It was like a fundraiser. To me, it was a fundraiser.
Okay,
benefit.
whatever. There was a kitchen, and he was in the back, just behind a curtain. About hundreds of people have his mask off,
and he's paranoid every time something happens and puts his mask on.
Yeah,
it's like just keep it on. Yeah, I know.
That bugs me in every single Spider-Man movie, but that's so minor. Who cares?
It is annoying though, and
yeah, it is.
And one of the Tobey Maguire movies, and
from the brothers.
Great movie. And both of the Andrew Garfield movies, especially the Andrew Garfield movies. I feel like the Andrew Garfield movie, he should have just done the movie one-handed, like mask in one hand and slinging webs with the other, because he just kept it off the whole time.
Yeah, every time he talks to anyone, he takes his mask off immediately.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
let's talk.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're a stranger. Yeah, you're gonna rob this car. Yeah, let me take my mask off.
Oh man, like how'd you breathe in that thing? Like, you built a
air tank in the mask.
That's so smart. And he's just like,
no. Superhero movie, great movie.
Yeah, it's underrated.
True. Anyway, he kept his mask off a lot, and I get it. I don't know why Spider-Man movies do that, but whatever. It was kind of cool for a while because he had the Iron Man capabilities at the beginning where he just pop it on and off. So at that point, I get it. But like if you're taking it off with your hand, like just keep it on.
I like how. What do you think about the suits?
Well, it's kind of weird, especially since we talked about it with Jordan. Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire's suit is apparently his favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it, but it looks kind of weird now, I guess, because it maybe hasn't stood the test of time in terms of graphics. It's the most recent movie is 12 years old. So other than that, though, I do like it. I've always liked it. I like the look of it. I liked Andrew Garfield's, too, to me, because it wasn't really that different from Tobey Maguire's. Yeah, it was just a little sleeker.
Yeah.
So I liked that one too. So this one is like the most different. And at first I was kind of against him. In Homecoming, I wasn't crazy about it. I guess it's the one that he makes himself.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the very first one that Tony gives him. That's just not. Yeah. The one that wasn't is technologically advanced.
Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah.
At first I wasn't crazy about that suit, and I'm not crazy about some of the other ones. They look just weird, but at the same time.
It's nice.
I like the Iron Man one, honestly.
The Iron Man one is so sick, but it does kind of ruin the character.
Yeah, it ruins the character, but to me, it's the best appearance. In terms of appearance,
it just looks the dopest. Best, Like it's just because it's Spider-Man and Iron Man. Like how could you go wrong? That's an awesome looking suit.
It is dope.
But yeah, it does ruin it. Or it does sort of diminish it. But like I just meant like, did they bother you that they used so many in this movie?
Nah.
No, it was just cool.
Yeah, especially since he.
You felt like they were valid, like how many he had.
Wait, because did he lose? Why did he get the black suit? Because he didn't want to be recognized.
Yeah.
Because he.
And they start calling him that Night Monkey.
I get that. I remember that, but I forget why he had to get the black suit in the first place. Because he did have his because of Aunt May, he did have his Spider-Man suit in Europe.
Yeah.
But he chose to wear the black suit instead of the Spider-Man suit because of stealth reasons.
Yeah, because his class would know Spider-Man followed us to Europe, and we put it together.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, and then he made his own at the very end, which was basically just a black version of his first one, which was cool too. Black and red. Can't go wrong with those colors.
Red, guns up. Yeah. Rockets and.
Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, it was cool to see in that. I just like my main takeaway was like they only did it like 2 times, but when they did the Mysterio stuff where he was making everything like an illusion or whatever, like that was the most awesome thing I've ever seen. It was just so trippy. It was so overwhelming. I loved like how he went to Tony Stark's grave and the Iron Man suit with a half skeleton comes out of it, and then like spiders come out of that. It was just like, oh my god, like that's so trippy. That's so cool.
The illusions were dope, and I loved how whenever you thought he was out of the illusion,
he just kept getting
Sam Jackson was helping him. Yeah, he was still in the illusion. I was like, whoa. Awesome. That was a great part.
Yeah, that was really sick. Yeah, MJ had. I really liked how MJ. She had a couple of lines. She had that one of like, "Oh, you look pretty," and it's like, "Oh, what? So I have value?" Like I was like, "Yes, that's so funny." And then like they're having that really awkward like they're into each other on like the bridge or whatever, and he's saying like, "Oh wow, it's a nice night tonight." And she's like, "Yeah, they used to hang people on this bridge," and it's just like, what? Yeah, they just put them in a basket together and just drop them in the ocean and drown them. Like I was like, wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's romantic.
Trying to think, yeah, like that got like a huge laugh out of me. I was like, whoa, and like Happy throwing the shield. I was dumbfounded by how stupid that was. The miss you thing was hilarious to me.
Yeah,
I know I'm blanking out, but because there was a lot of really funny jokes.
I like the Netherlands stuff for some reason.
Yeah, like everyone's so nice. Can I borrow your phone? Yeah. Sure. They get back in prison. Like they're free, and they're just like, yeah, we're getting back in prison. Hey, you okay in there? Everybody okay in there?
Yeah.
How's your wife? Like, yeah, she's having a baby next month. No way. She's having a baby.
Yeah, he's wearing the night monkey costume.
Yeah.
Like all on the phone.
We were worried you got cold, so he gave you a shirt. Yeah. Like, thanks. You guys are so nice. And he's like, oh, Happy, how would I know it's really you? Tell me something you only know. I was like, I bought that when we went to Germany, I think. Yeah, and we stayed at that hotel, and it wouldn't give me the name, but I knew from the price it was an adult feature or whatever. And it was like, all right, fine. Yeah, I got it. That was hilarious.
Classic.
Yeah, dude, a lot of great moments.
Yeah. I hate not saying it wasn't a good joke, but how many times do you think pay-per-view porn in a hotel has been used as a joke in a movie? I mean, countless, right? Any movie that has a hotel that claims to be a comedy has a porn
every
joke.
Single time, yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's like, again, it worked and it was funny.
Yeah.
Super played out joke.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. Because I was just thinking, like, the other day I was watching... Can't remember the name of the movie, but I was watching it and they had that exact
Just
same
watching,
joke.
or were you watching and listening?
I was just watching. I wasn't giving my full attention.
Apparently, you have to ask that now.
Yeah, you do. I'm telling you, dude.
Did you watch a movie? Yeah, I watched it. I want to be very clear about that. I didn't listen to it.
Bro, it's true. It's true.
Wait, so you don't know the name of the movie, but did you watch and listen to it? I'm assuming.
Yeah, and they had the same porn joke or whatever. It was like a spy thing I've never heard of.
Yep.
It was generic movie, generic joke.
Yep.
So saw it coming.
They like those, yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything else to say?
On what?
Just the movie. Like, yeah,
yes.
I'm out of notes.
This may not be a hot... I don't know. It's not really a hot take or anything. I just find it interesting that both villains in Homecoming and Far From Home technically don't have any superpowers or really physically fight Spider-Man. It's all technology.
Yeah.
They're both very average humans at the end of the day. Granted, Gyllenhaal technically has muscles and is more attractive than Michael Keaton and younger, but he really doesn't physically fight him.
It's the first 2 Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
It is interesting. I didn't think about that either. But Green Goblin does do some fist-to-fist.
True, but it's a lot of technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Spider-Man 3, he's fighting, what's his name? It was all technology, too.
Who?
Gobby Jr., whatever his name is.
Harry, he barely fights him.
Bro, that movie's got everything. It's got to fight with everyone.
Dude, 3 villains, drama, emo,
jazz.
Jazz, Evan.
Yeah,
I
it
love
is
it.
interesting that they chose to do that.
Well, it's just kind of, I guess that's, but now you brought up a good point because they did it in Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Not as much in 3, a little got me Jr. Now I'm trying to think. Amazing Spider-Man 1 was the Lizard and the other one was Electro. So both of those are technically superpowers.
Gobby Jr.'s in that movie too, though.
Nice. 3 villains.
And the Rhino.
Barely.
Still.
But anyway, I guess they're more super power related though. I don't know. I find it interesting because I was like, both times he's, especially in this movie, it's just kind of interesting the fact that he's constantly in conflict, but not really with the villain.
Yeah.
Like he almost never actually truly fights the villain. He never fights Jake Gyllenhaal. He kind of just stops him from
he kicks
shooting
his
him
ass, and that's over. Like it's a real quick fight.
real quick. So I thought that was an interesting. I don't really. That's all I have on that. And then we talked about. Damn, dude, Jordan's pissing me off. Is Mysterio dead? I thought that was actually kind of a hot take, and that's something that I'm really going to be looking into when we go see the movie again.
Do you want him to be dead?
I'm not as passionate about it as Jordan was. He seemed really adamant that he be dead. I just assumed he was. So now that I think about it, whether he is or isn't, I guess I don't care, but I would prefer him to be dead unless they can somehow make an amazing plot with him in the third movie, or they kill him immediately in the third movie, kind of like they kill Thanos. And they're not going to do it the same way, but it's kind of like, holy shit, they just killed Mysterio like immediately.
It'd be a cool take to have the real villain of the third movie kill Mysterio right at the beginning, just because Mysterio's like messing with him or something, and he just sees through it and just kills him immediately.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things they could do there. So I'm not opposed to him being alive, but I already assumed he was dead. So I'm kind of indifferent on what happens, but I do want to know what happens because I just assumed he was. And Jordan seemed pretty adamant that he wasn't. How could he record the message? I think that he just pre-recorded it and sent it to Baldy. And Baldy did like that flash drive thing at the very end when he knew the battle was over, but he like downloaded 500 of 500 drones, I believe.
Yeah.
And unplugged. And I feel like he just passed along the message to Jameson because I feel like he might be the next villain, or he's going to be the assistant to the next villain.
Yeah.
Whoever that may be. Which, do you have any speculation on that?
Venom.
Why?
I don't know. I think that they want to cross those over, and I think that
We already know who one villain is.
who?
Society.
Of course.
That end credit scene
That's
was wild.
gonna be interesting because now everyone hates Peter, and they know he's Spider-Man.
Yeah. That's super wild. So this is the first time we've ever seen his identity blown too, right? His identity's never been blown by the masses.
That's true.
By the masses.
I'm not sure I like it
I don't either.
because I don't like it
Why?
right now. Because he's the only superhero with a secret identity, and it makes sense.
Bruce Wayne.
No, in Marvel, in
Marvel.
the MCU,
Yep.
and like so, I kind of wanted them to keep the course, and it made sense that he had the secret identity. So I just wanted him to still have the secret identity.
But it's crazy that it got blown though.
Yeah, great moment that it got blown. Didn't see that coming, so that was great. And they could totally, do something cool with that. They've definitely set it up for something cool because now everybody knows and they have a reason to hate him. But right now, I gotta say I'm not a fan of it. I wish they didn't do it right now. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't see why Mysterio breaks the universe or whatever because of like the hologram technology or whatever. To me, he's just like any other criminal. Just lock him up and take away his toys, Yeah. And
that
he's
was
done
a little
for.
stretch.
Yeah.
Do you think he's dead or not? And do you care?
I would give anything to see more of scenes like where he's tripping people out like that. I would love to see that. So yeah, I hope he's not dead.
Okay.
Do I think he's dead? Yeah, I think he's dead.
Okay.
I think that just how like when we see it tomorrow, because we're gonna see it again. Like just focus on like how long it felt so long to me. They were focusing on his face not moving and just everything being at an end. Basically, I was just like, yeah, this guy's dead because he's obviously
Just no one's going to help him. No one's going to give him medical attention. Who's going to take his body?
Well, that all could have been a hologram. Like it could have been a hologram
Of a hologram?
Yeah, 2 holograms of him basically to really throw Peter Parker off because he couldn't.
But he stopped the gun physically.
Could have been one of those guns from that drone.
a drone holding a gun like a human person, and when he stops it, it doesn't reveal itself as a drone. It stays in human form as Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, because it wouldn't stop until Jake Gyllenhaal, the real one, is dead or his device is broken
But he broke his helmet and got the Edith glasses.
from the fake one. What if that wasn't the real one? See what I'm saying? Like no one on that bridge. What if Jake Gyllenhaal was never
But
on
he
that
was
bridge?
physically touching him.
Yeah, that is tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, then I guess he's got to be dead. I'd
know.
call some BS if he's alive, unless they
Well,
really pull something
we're gonna
out.
have to really pay attention now because at the same time, Peter was or Spider-Man, whatever, was kind of fighting the monster holograms when Jake Gyllenhaal was a quote unquote good guy.
Uh-huh.
Was he? You know what I mean? What was his web grabbing onto? His web grabbing onto a drone, and he just couldn't tell because there's drones everywhere because there's like a million of them.
Yeah, they
I
probably
guess.
were.
So like, even though he doesn't know he's webbing onto a drone when he's attacking, there's so many drones that he couldn't tell, and so there could be enough drones in Jake Gyllenhaal for him to not be able to tell when he's physically touching him and preventing the drones from shooting him in the head with a gun. How is a drone holding a gun? Because that's a real gun. He plans on shooting him in the head. So how does the drone hold the gun? I guess it has enough technology to do anything. So I guess it could have an arm.
Yeah,
But
exactly. But yeah, that's true. I don't know.
well, we're gonna pay attention, and I'm sure we still won't get the answers. That'll be great.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know what to. He's got to be dead then, unless they really got to explain that well. But no, I'd like to see him again. If nothing else, just to see another scene like that, and then
Those scenes were great.
yeah, those scenes were freaking awesome. Like I can't wait to see those specific parts of the movie tomorrow. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it was just cool. Like that was another thing I didn't write it down, but I should have. Like, it was just cool to see Spider-Man outside of New York and
Yeah.
in a different place because I get like New York is New York and it's
But we've been there.
kind of tied to Spider-Man. But it was cool to see him in a different place. It was cool to see him interacting with a different environment because he was like hopping across those like poles as he was trying to get to the bridge or whatever. And it was just, I don't know, it was just really cool to see him do different stuff.
Yeah, and I loved the Night Monkey buzz that he created in Europe. Like, I love that they called him Night Monkey like on a whim, and it just became a thing. It's all over the news.
And then he gets into that airport or whatever, and he's like, "Where am I?" Asking that woman, and she's like, Night Monkey."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, dude. That
was great.
hilarious.
Also, love the music choices in the movie. That really
I'll have to
helped.
pay more attention to that because I know what song you're talking about at the beginning with the Tony Stark stuff when you talked about that earlier. I know it's.
Yeah,
Will
we'll always
love. Yeah, that's what it was. But I don't remember the other songs, so I'm gonna have to pay attention to the soundtrack. I feel like I didn't pay much attention.
I don't
to
know
it.
them, but they just fit the style and the
Of
scene
course.
well. So
That's why I need to pay attention to it. So we'll get back to the end credit scene. We might touch on that more. I don't know if we covered everything there. I'm gonna make sure I go over all my other notes. I loved. You talked about it earlier, how he was reading the text messages of the "Miss You" and "Miss You Too." I love
Yes.
that whole scene where he like almost killed Brad with the drone.
that
dude.
was great.
Hilarious. And I don't know, like the fact that what was it? They're like, "Do you really care about your friends? You tried to kill them all." Like, you know what I mean? And he, like, Peter didn't know. So I don't know. I thought that all of that was hilarious. It was kind of cool how I think I touched on this earlier, but like the after effects of the blip, like, and the fact that they called it the blip, they came up with a name for it, and I just liked how they covered it, and they did it like seamlessly, because they really didn't get hung up on it. Like they just
it
kind
did
of
in
like
like 2-3 minutes.
they're like, yeah, here's all the info you need to know about it, and here's the rest of the movie, and you're like, okay, cool. Like everything just worked, and so like that was great, because they always have to make sure that they cover all the plot holes of the Avengers and make sure that they're covering all the bases. But I love the fact that they can cover the bases and not waste time on it. Just they can have their own movie. They're like, we're gonna have our own movie. We're not gonna service the Avengers. This is a Spider-Man movie. But yes, this stuff did happen. Like I don't
and
know.
they acknowledge all the connections. And
Exactly.
All that stuff.
So that's nice. I appreciate that. To me, that's just a great way to tell the story. Okay, last note. Aunt May, way too casual. I thought that throughout the whole movie. I was like,
She's
because
so happy-go-lucky. Like
Yeah.
never any worry in her.
yeah, because he could die. Spider-Man's not really known for immortality. Like he's very killable. Now, granted, he's probably never going to die in his own movie. I get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have to believe that he can be
die,
defeated,
yeah.
and he really can be. And so, like, any decent villain can give him a fight. And she's just like, yeah, Don't forget your suit, silly. Like, oh my god.
Wow, there's a monster there.
Yeah.
Bummer.
And the way our world is connected, she saw all that shit on the news that he's involved in. Even
Yeah.
if it's in Europe, she saw it.
And if she cares,
she's
she's
not-
probably gonna be watching it.
And she's watching it, and she's got to be blowing up his cell phone. They didn't talk the whole time he's in Europe. He's talking to Happy. And he's
Yeah.
talking to Happy like, why are you with my aunt? Like,
What do you think about that relationship?
that's fine. I
Yeah,
don't care.
okay.
It's whatever. I'm not surprised by it.
Girls gotta eat.
Well, yeah, and of course, yeah, right, big dude, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, I feel like he would crush her. Like, he was really like, I could see him really giving it to her, because he's like a big dude. But of course,
Wow,
like,
I'm sorry I asked.
yeah, and she's still hot. That's what's crazy.
Marissa Tomei.
An Oscar winner, Jerry. But it's
Boy, I wish I
crazy.
looked like her. Oh.
I hope I look that good when I'm older. You don't look that good now. What are you gonna do? Invent the fucking time machine? No. So anyway,
Yeah, it just didn't die how casual she was about it.
well, back to the relationship though. Of course, the one person that Peter, like, they get along. It's not that him and Happy don't get along. It's kind of weird how they used to butt heads a lot in the first movie, and now they're like bros in this movie, kind of, when
Yeah.
he's like playing AC/DC for him, and he calls it Led Zeppelin.
God,
And,
that was great.
yeah, it was cute. And so, I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. It's just kind of different. But of course, yeah, the one person he's kind of previously beefed with is dating his aunt. Especially since Tony had like previously flirted with her, but of course he's got Pepper. So
Yeah.
and we didn't see Pepper in this movie, right? Like, very briefly.
No, she's not in it. No.
Okay.
She gives that check. That's like the only mention of her, really.
Okay,
We'll probably never see that character again.
that's fine. Yeah.
What are you gonna do without Iron Man? Honestly,
Yeah. Well, I mean, she could still do Iron Woman. We could get that Me Too movement happening again.
I don't want to see that. I don't think anyone wants to see that.
I love it. And then, but yeah, way too casual. She'd be blowing up his cell phone too. Like, she sees all this shit on the news and she's not blowing up his cell phone. They
Yeah.
didn't talk the whole time he's overseas. And then she gets back. Oh, where's your suitcase? Oh, blown up in an explosion. Oh, that's right. Let me get in the car.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
like,
a massive oversight.
yeah. And not that she has to trip out. Like, I know every other Aunt May is like, oh, I'm so worried about you responsibility and you're delivering pizzas so late.
It's okay that you killed your uncle.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I can't believe he's dead. You ruined my life. I cry about it every day, but I love you, Peter. They don't have to do all that, but just, it's not realistic. So let's cover the end credit scenes, and I think we'll be done. Those are the only two notes I have.
Yeah. Surprised there was no Venom connection. Really thought that was gonna happen. Kind of.
Can it happen, though, because of the Sony Marvel stuff?
Yeah, it can totally happen.
Okay.
They'll have to work out some deal or something, and that's why.
It probably won't happen because God knows when they're going to ever work out a deal.
Unfortunately, yeah, I think we're either going to, because I know they signed a deal to where Spider-Man's going to have one more movie on this deal. So maybe they'll do another deal where he can have like a few more. But I mean, three's enough. 3 solo films is plenty, I guess. But
It is, I guess.
But I'd always like more. Why not?
So, and I understand it for the actor's perspective. Like, 3 movies is enough for Tom Holland.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, there's infinite villains. So, like, I'd like them to keep making Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, especially because like I
and
really
using
like
other villains.
really like this take on it, and I really like the side characters, and I'd love to see what a Green Goblin looks like when we have this Spider-Man. I'd love to see what Venom looks like against this Spider-Man. I'd love to see like what Doc Ock looks like against this Spider-Man.
Do we want to do the same villains, though?
It's been long enough.
He has so many villains, though.
What other villains do you want to see that we haven't already seen? Do you want to see?
I mean, I'm down for, because I didn't really know anything about Vulture, so I'm down to learn about villains I don't already know about. Because he's got plenty.
I guess that's
like,
true.
well, I mean, because I didn't play the Spider-Man game either. Isn't there a ton of villains in the Spider-Man games?
You got Taskmaster. Yeah, Vulture's in that game. Let's see.
The samurai guy?
Oh yeah, Mr. Negative or whatever. Yeah, I'd like to see that, but I don't.
Rhino?
Really.
Isn't he in it?
Rhino.
Isn't there like a scorpion or electric person that are in the game?
Well, yeah, Electro and Scorpion, yeah.
We haven't seen Scorpion in a movie. We've seen Electro, right? We saw Jamie Foxx was Electro.
So yeah, I guess they should do new takes or whatever, but at the same time, I don't like the Tobey Maguire movies as much as you do, and I really don't like the villains that much in those movies. So I'd like to see what they would look like when given the proper treatment.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they wanted to do someone new or just to create their own, that would be cool
that's the
too.
thing. They could that's what I keep saying. Just keep making movies. Like they
Yeah.
could do like all I'm asking for is like they could do a Spider-Man 4 with Scorpion or just whoever.
Yeah.
And then they could do Spider-Man 5 with Green Goblin or whatever. Like I'm not saying, but they could make another movie or two before redoing
Old ones,
those
yeah.
old ones. But at the same time, I don't care as long as they keep making Spider-Man movies. But I understand that Tom Holland might not go past a third
Yeah.
because that seems kind of typical.
That's I mean, that's a long time to play the character too. Cause
Thor did 3, Iron Man did 3.
Thor's
Captain
coming
America-
back though.
in his own movie though. Exactly.
Thor and the Guardians, so he's going to be 1A, 1B.
He will be, but it's not Thor 4, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. They did 3.
I'm kind of concerned what they're going to do when they're losing all these
3
characters.
Captain Americas.
Yeah, they're losing, like, if Marvel looks at it, they're losing Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and probably Spider-Man soonish. What are they going to do? Like, what is going to be their main characters? Like Black Panther? That's what's going to be interesting is, like, they're going to bring out new characters, and are we going to like them as much, you know?
Probably, because they've been on fire so far. Where have they messed up?
Recently? Nowhere.
Ever.
Ever? I don't
MCU.
know. Especially as far as characters go, I like all the characters.
Exactly.
So that's true.
Like they made me like Doctor Strange. I don't know that character, and I don't
Yeah.
like Benedict Cumberbatch, and I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I love him in that role. And I don't even
Yeah.
like him. And so yeah, they're like batting 1,000 right now. I mean, they made me care about Hawkeye.
That's true.
But of course I like
It
Jeremy
took a
Renner.
while to do it, but they
I
definitely
like
got
Jeremy,
there.
well, I like Jeremy Renner though. I
Yeah.
liked him from the beginning. It's because he isn't as
Underserved.
powerful
Yeah.
as the others. Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting off topic. I loved how they had J. Jonah Jameson in it.
Yeah.
That was great. I can't believe they made that happen because
Copyrights and yada yada.
well, yeah, and he's signed on to be Commissioner Gordon in remember he's the Commissioner Gordon in Justice League?
He is, huh?
Yeah. So
in the live action Justice League movie that was super disappointing by DC Comics.
yes.
Okay.
Ding.
Yeah.
So that means he's out. He's out of that franchise because
Shocker.
I mean you can't. I feel like you sign one to the other, you're like, all right, I'm done over here, basically.
Dude,
so,
DC's like Domino's, bro. People are just in and out. It's just like they can't hold on to anybody.
yeah,
It's a high
like
turnover
Domino's,
rate.
the pizza restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I'm saying like high turnover rate.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to work there.
Yeah, and honestly, his 30 seconds in this post-credit scene were better than anything he did in Justice League, and
Yeah.
it was pretty great to see him again. And it makes sense he'd do a podcast too, because who's buying or running a newspaper in 2019? You know,
That was a podcast?
yeah, it was like the highly controversial podcast, blah 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 blah, the Daily Bugle or whatever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Also, that's another thing that kind of.
But are they airing a podcast on Broadway on big screen like that?
No, but they did it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they say podcast. We'll see it, but I'm pretty sure. But it kind of ruins the very interesting thing here. He knows Peter is Spider-Man, so Peter can never really work for him, and they can never have that sort of clash or like funny
He
moments.
can't
where,
work at the paper.
Yeah, he'd be like, Spider-Man sucks, and like Peter would be like, I think he's all right, and he's like, no, he sucks, and like or whatever you would say. But you can't have that now. But really,
He could be on the podcast.
he could be on the podcast, but at the same time, like he's not going to work as a photographer at a podcast. So
No. He could be on the podcast
That's
as
what
a
I'm saying.
guest.
That's what I'm saying. Like they've changed it to where it doesn't even really matter that he knows he's Spider-Man anymore, because now I feel like what we're gonna get, instead of the hilarious moments in the Tobey Maguire ones where he's coming in and everything, it'll just be things like that where we'll see it on the TV or something.
Yeah.
It'll be like the news show in Far From or Homecoming, where it's just it's on every now and then. It's just a funny thing. It'll be like that.
Yeah.
Which will be great too. Or we can never see him again, and that would honestly that's
fine,
fine
too.
too. Honestly, it was just great to see him in that. I can't believe they did that, saved it for the end, didn't do any marketing or anything on it. Like we never saw a trailer showing that, and that's kind of weird because I feel like that would get a lot of people to be like, "Oh my god!" Like yes,
But at the same time, it's post-credit scene.
true.
Yeah. Have you ever seen post-credit scene content in a trailer?
No, but I mean, this is one of the better ones, and it has one
Great
of the
post-credit
more
scene.
appealing things happen in it. I would say.
Yeah. Fan service,
Fan
as your brother
service,
calls
yeah.
it.
Yeah, dude. So that was awesome. Love seeing that.
I was blown away by it.
Great way to end the movie. Yeah.
crazy way to end the movie.
Because now I'm really curious about like how
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
it all comes back.
Yes, dude. So Spider-Man 3 has the potential to be the best movie since Spider-Man 3. Can't wait.
God, you're joking.
And then the other I couldn't believe it. I had no clue it was coming, and I don't think I've ever been more hyped for a sequel from a post-credit scene. Every post-credit scene I've probably seen in the MCU. Honestly, it'd be kind of dope if we could find a way to rank post-credit scenes on our MCU episode.
We can do it.
It'd be tough, but yeah,
because there's a video out there that's probably like 10 minutes long that we could just watch real quick.
Bet. Let's do that then. So because honestly, most post-credit scenes, I'm like, every single time, I'm like, okay, that was kind of cool, and then most of the other times, I'm like, why did I stay for this?
Last one I remember is Deadpool 2 being really cool, but yeah, MCU wise,
I don't really care for any of the post-credit scenes. Most of the time, I have to look it up or ask you about it. And a lot of times you'll be like, yeah, it's just a setup for the next movie. We go, yeah, I should have known that. I don't really care. This I cared about.
Yeah.
So intrigued. Couldn't believe that his secret identity was blown. Didn't see that coming because they've never done it before, like you mentioned earlier. And there was something else like to it. Oh yeah, just I don't know. I already lost it. Doesn't matter.
Great.
The fact that they just said Peter Parker though, and like MJ's there for it, and I don't know how he's gonna get out of it. And I'm fascinated to see how the story is going to play out to where he has to get society to unhate him.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of things that like, speaking of post-credit scenes.
And the bald guy, he said, I don't know how you're going to frame this one. And I was like, yeah, what is he going to do?
Yeah.
And then they revealed what he did in the post-credit scene. Genius. Because it just left you hanging. He's like, how are you going to frame it? And he framed it beautifully.
Yeah.
Like, people hate Spider-Man. Like, crazy.
Man, that's such a great reveal too. Anyway, yeah. Speaking of post-credit scenes, the one with Nick Fury, that one was also a weird reveal.
Mm-hmm. That he wasn't there the whole time.
And I don't even understand where that's going, honestly. I've looked it up online. Go ahead.
No, yeah, you looked it up online. I want to hear this.
Looked it up online, and basically it just means that Nick Fury is basically worried about more things in space than on Earth, and that's why he's had someone stand in for him. So that sort of hints at, people don't even know, but people say it kind of hints at Captain Marvel too.
That's what I think.
Or it hints at like the next villain, which is Galactus, which is like, if you remember Galactus. If you remember,
who is Galactus a villain of?
The Fantastic Four. Usually. So if you remember did you ever see do you ever remember the second Fantastic Four with?
Never saw it. Rise of the Silver Surfer?
Yeah, all right. Well, they do a terrible job in that movie of having that character, but basically he's just a really bad space dude who's just a monster, basically. Like, he's unstoppable. So, like, there are people thinking he's set up for that. But to me, it was kind of like, eh.
It's a setup for that just because he's in space?
Yeah, just because he's in space, and they're like, there's an armada sort of thing there. Like, they're setting up an army and everything. It looks like they're getting ready for battle. So it just sort of seems like, what's our threat? What's the threat coming? And I didn't really... I don't know. It kind of puts an interesting question of when did Nick Fury like step out? That's what I kind of wonder, because I'm sure he was at he was at Iron Man's funeral, and there's a point in this movie where they reference Iron Man's funeral, like, hey, I haven't seen you since the funeral or whatever. And
it's like, was he not there at the funeral?
Yeah, was he not there, or when did they make the switch?
Has he been gone since the 90s? Because Captain Marvel never gets out of the 90s, right?
Then if he was gone since the 90s, then he's literally never Nick Fury in any movie in the MCU. Like,
but what I'm saying is Captain Marvel never left the 90s, right? Did it ever go to present day?
No.
Not really?
No.
Right? So...
No, they just left in a spaceship and it was over.
Yeah.
In the 90s, yeah.
So, to me, like I mentioned earlier, most of the time the post-credit scenes just kind of set up the next movie and almost don't really mean anything.
This is one of them.
I feel like it was one of them. That's, to me, the most simple answer is it's like, hey, he's taking a break. He's in space with Captain Marvel because they're buddies. Mm-hmm. He's obviously going to have another movie because those people from Captain Marvel are, whatever, shapeshifters or people changers, whatever. And so, yeah, they're all friends, so he used them so he could take a vacation. Or, so like the other person said on the internet, that he can get ready for battle for Captain Marvel too, but at the same time, he is technically enjoying a vacation. He's looking at a fake beach drinking a coconut drink, so he is relaxing. I don't know if they're necessarily gearing up for battle if he's doing that, Or maybe they are, and he's like got a
Just a
day.
badass.
Yeah, it's like the battle's on Monday, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna enjoy this Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna chill out, and then tomorrow we're gonna go fight." So that's all possible. But to me, it's as simple as he's just out there with Captain Marvel, getting ready for Captain Marvel 2, and whatever it is that they're gonna face. Because she even mentions in Endgame, well, there's other galaxies that don't have the Avengers, so he's helping her out with whatever. Or he's been gone since the 90s. But at the same time, she came back in Endgame, and she might have come back during that 5-year blip.
There's no way he's been gone since the 90s.
There's no way. So that's what I'm saying. She came back for Endgame. He could have gone with her then.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Once Endgame was over, he's like, yo, let me get off Earth. Like, I've had it. Let me.
I got to worry about other stuff. That's basically what it just says. Like, yeah, there's other stuff to worry about. It's basically just building towards
I don't
the
get why
next
he's
Avengers.
worried about it, though. Why would he care?
Because he's there's no more S.H.I.E.L.D., and he's the only human.
Why does he care about what's going on in other galaxies when he lives there?
Because that's where the threats are coming from, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then there you go. So, yeah.
So
It's probably as simple as that.
yeah, it's probably just that.
But
Honestly.
it was kind of a sick reveal of the fact that he wasn't there for all of Far From Home, because like they do that call and they're like, yeah, we gave him the glasses like you wanted to, and things kind of got off the rails, and now we're cool, But everyone's wondering about the next Iron Man or this, and he's like, oh, fine. And he like snaps out of his vacation, and you're like, whoa.
Which is interesting because we don't know what the next movie is going to be, so who knows where it'll go. They haven't announced it yet.
That's what I was trying to tell them after the movie. I was like, technically nothing's announced. We don't know what the next movie is, but my guess is Captain Marvel 2 or Guardians 3. Guardians 3.
They probably announced on the 18th, so a couple of weeks they'll probably announce it.
But
probably show some trailers.
But they'll probably come out. They came out with 3 movies in 2019.
Yeah.
So
There'll be 2 or 3.
They'll come out with 2 or 3 in 2020.
Yeah.
Because you keep saying 2020 is the year anyway. Everybody's waiting for that year.
For what? I was talking about for video games. I wasn't talking about for movies. Yeah.
Video games. Okay, but still, 2020 it's just a big year. Like, why would they not come out with fire movies? Because this summer's been kind of weak.
Yeah, especially because if you don't count, you don't technically count Avengers because it was April. It's pretty weak.
Yeah.
Pretty lackluster.
Well, and that's the thing too. They're like, yeah, we're gonna kick off the summer in April, and then it's like, there's nothing after that. Avengers is still in theaters.
Yeah.
Because nothing has come out.
Well, it's trying to break the record. So.
Also annoying.
What? Just trying to break a record?
Yeah. Are they paying to stay in theaters so they can break a record? Like, what do you mean they're trying to break the record?
I mean that in a very weird way. Like basically, from what I understand is like the theaters hold all the power. Like they're like, yeah, we'll show whatever movie is gonna make the most money. So if Avengers is still making money, they just keep it in theaters because, why would they replace it with more showtimes for John Wick? Because most people who see John Wick just see it once, and they just see it that opening weekend.
And not everybody goes to see it.
And that's a rated R movie too, so even less people can see it. Anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, if I had to guess, it'd probably be like Black Widow. I don't know. After that, I don't know what else would be in 2020. I know there's going to be Guardians 3. Well, no, that's not going to be for probably till 2021 because they still have to film Suicide Squad 2. They might have started, but they still have to make
3?
that whole movie. That movie might not get made.
Just because Ant-Man's not popular enough?
Yeah, it doesn't make enough money. Or it makes fine money, but it's just like, yeah.
I understand why they wouldn't do it. I'm not saying they should.
You gave it the movie of the year 2018.
I'm not opposed to it. That's what I'm saying. I like Ant-Man. I'm not opposed to it at all.
Which is a weird, I don't know. That's like a weird thing to think about too. Is like they're on Ant-Man, and like somehow that character is interesting, and I like it.
Yeah, I like him. With Paul Rudd, dude.
Yeah, I know. But I like just saying like, yeah, Ant-Man. We're gonna go see the Ant-Man movie. It's like, I don't know. Who would have thought that was like a thing to go see and enjoy like 10, 15 years ago. Anyway, yeah, close this discussion out. Like, to me, this movie solidified Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man actor for sure.
Oh God. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Okay, so Tom Holland's your best Spider-Man. Where does this movie fit in the rankings of the other Spider-Man? Since we've ranked all the other 7, all of them.
Spider-Verse is great. Homecoming's great too. I really want to see it again before I make a call on that. But if I had to call it like right now, maybe number 1. I don't know. It's really tough. Like, I don't think it's a clear-cut winner, honestly.
I think one weekend in the not-so-distant future, I'm going to sit down
and watch them all.
No, not all.
Just the top ones?
I'm going to watch, Far From Home, Homecoming, Spider-Verse and two, and they are going to make a Spider-Verse 2.
They are.
Yeah,
That's probably gonna be great.
I've already seen minor deets on it.
The thing with Spider-Verse is it's animated, and that kind of works for and against it because it's animated, and you don't really think about all the little plot holes as much, but the action isn't nearly as interesting. So it's like,
Of course.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think, is there another one? Yeah, no, those are the 4 I would watch. Those are my top 4, and so I have a hard time
Picking them all.
Yeah, but I would almost say that I would put Spider-Man 2, the Doc Ock one, at 4th.
Yeah.
And
it's just, I mean, it's just, it just ages. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. And Tom Holland is better than Tobey Maguire because it's not even Tobey Maguire's fault though, because the writing and the style of movie is different too.
Yeah,
so
a lot more cheesy, a lot more.
Yeah,
safe.
It's not that. Yeah, exactly. Because it's not that they weren't even making comic book movies like
anything back then.
Exactly.
That was before Batman Begins.
Yeah, and now so. Because Batman Begins kind of changed the game, and then Iron Man changed the game.
Yeah.
So, it was before those times. And so it's still good. Anyway.
What would you give it? Like, what would you say it is? Like, would you say it's the best?
Wait, would you agree with those rankings, though? What is your favorites? Where would you...
Dude, Spider-Man 2 is just not... I don't...
So you said you might put this one at number 1, Far From Home?
Yeah, if I had to pick
if
one...
If not Homecoming?
If I had to put one right now, I would put this one at number 1, and then I would put Homecoming at number 2.
Spider-Verse 3.
Spider-Verse is 3, but it's animated, and I wish I could like separate that, but it's just it's not as good to me because it's.
I thought you said you loved it.
I love that movie, but it's. I mean, I love all 3.
But it's third.
Yeah, the top 3 are. I love them so much. It's like I feel like I'm dumping on the others, but someone's gonna come in last place.
Yeah, because you ranked Homecoming number 1 on our last ranking, right? Me, you, and Gamble did that.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Gamble said Homecoming was number 1.
Yeah, Gamble never seen Spider-Verse, but yeah.
And then Far From Home is now probably number 1. I think I agree with that too. I think I like it better than Homecoming, but it's close. Homecoming is great. It's very rare that I like the origin story of a superhero movie that much. And it really, I guess it's because they skipped over the origin story mostly. Yeah. So that's probably why
they didn't do any in this movie. They didn't waste any time on like picking anything up either. It was just sort of like,
here we go.
Here's the story. It's freaking Spider-Man. You know who he is. I'm like, thank you.
And thank you. That's I do love that. So yeah, I think Tom Holland and whoever's directing is it the same director for both?
I don't know, honestly.
Well, let's just assume it is, and I'd say he's doing a great. He or she. Excuse me.
Whoa.
He, she, or they, or Zimzer, or I'm really gender fluid now, and so I just want to make sure I identify everybody correctly because I don't know what this director is. I don't know what they identify as. So they're doing a great job, along with Tom Holland, who I believe identifies as male. Last time I checked.
Smart call.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did both.
It was a he.
Yeah, John Watts.
John Watts is doing a solid job.
Do you think that this is? Well, I mean, it's too early to call. I wouldn't say that. But
no. Where does it compare to Endgame?
It's a completely different kind of movie. Honestly, it's
better than Captain Marvel.
It's faster. Yeah.
Okay.
Captain Marvel never had a scene like. It never had a scene where the Mysterio scenes. It just never had that, and the character was new, and it was an origin story. So
yeah.
Like, honestly, that movie was good. If it just had a really sick action scene in it, and I understand that's a lot to ask for, and I'm using the word just, but it's still just, to me, that's what it was missing.
Action was kind of weak, yeah.
Action was kind of weak, but I like the character.
And the chick was hot.
And, yeah.
Decent movie.
And all the acting was great, and it was an interesting story, and I was entertained the entire time. It's just, gotta work on that action.
Yeah.
How about it really sucked? Would you say this is the best movie of the year? Because remember, we were saying in our episode,
we have to do most decent or whatever, the most decent award. I can't say what the best movie.
I'm just saying so far. Like, what would you say? Because remember earlier we were talking about this movie.
I was saying for this movie than Endgame.
I was saying Endgame, and I was saying like Star Wars 2 are probably the ones that are going to be the best movies of the year, and we never like really.
We both said Far From Home was going to be the sleeper.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But I was just throwing other ones out there. To me, Endgame is better, but Endgame has every superhero in it. So how could I not like it more, you know? But to me, Endgame is like, I don't know, it's just, it is sort of a movie I wouldn't necessarily watch any given day. I'd have to be in a certain mood because that movie is so exhausting to watch. Like, It's just very exhausting to watch. But by the time I get to the end, I'm like, God damn it, I love this thing. It's just, I love it so much by the time I get to the end of it, but I'm not really in the mood to watch that kind of movie every day. Where this movie is more like fun and, it's faster paced. It's an hour shorter. It's about one character. It's,
Yep.
It's a simple plot, which is kind of a problem with it.
Is it funnier? Is Spider-Man funnier? But Endgame, because Endgame's super serious. I'm trying to think.
Endgame is super serious for the first 45 minutes.
Okay.
So I would say based on that,
Not really.
because
Sort of not really.
Spider-Man doesn't have 45 minutes straight of no humor. It's pretty much nonstop humor because they get. No, wait. Now, Endgame is way less funny than this movie because there's a funeral scene at the end of Endgame and it's all sad and it's all resolution.
Yeah.
And then they start off and they're all depressed and there's nothing they can do. But that middle part is funny, but that's not enough. This whole movie is funny from beginning to end.
Yeah. I feel like I do this all the time just to cover all the bases. But basically, I can acknowledge Endgame is the better movie.
Yeah.
But I think I personally like Spider-Man more. And I will for sure, if you look in the future of how many
Which one you
times
watch more?
Which one I've watched more? It's going to be Spider-Man.
I don't know if you ever watch Endgame again, honestly. Well, I don't think. I think it'll be a long time before you watch Endgame again, honestly.
I'll be down to watch it tomorrow.
Do double feature.
Yeah, it's only 6 hours.
Lord. No, dude, seriously, I really. One day we should whenever it's sort of not so fresh or whatever, we should watch Infinity War and then Endgame back to back. That would be a dope day.
I know.
But
I've been saying.
I can't say it's I like it better.
That's what I'm gonna do. The next time I watch Endgame, I'm gonna watch Infinity War before it, and I'll do it with you, obviously. But
nice.
Yeah, because I am down to see Endgame again, but I'm also more down to do that.
Yeah.
And so that means I'd see Endgame 3 times. I'm already exhausted just thinking about it. Yeah.
That's tiring.
So, and the fact that you saw it 3 times in theaters, I don't know how. That's 9+ hours of your life.
I don't know, man. That's not a good decision on my part, but I definitely don't regret it.
Yeah, the movie's exhausting. So I would give Spider-Man the nod just for personal preferences. I know that Avengers is better.
But to you, this is the movie to beat for best movie of the year so far.
Yeah, because nothing else has come out.
Okay.
The only movies that come out have been made by Marvel.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing else of quality have come out. And
the comedy selection is terrible.
Got to do a follow-up on Stuber too. Have you seen the new trailer for that thing?
No.
Batista's blind. That's why he has an Uber driver. He's a blind cop that relies on Uber. How stupid does it get? And then I saw another trailer for Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh man, I gotta see that movie.
Does
it look dumb good or
It literally looks like the most outrageous thing ever. I'm never sure because it's not bad because it's unrealistic as it could be, and they're going all in on it. So it's not like they're trying to be like, hey, this could happen.
Yeah.
Based on a true story. It is so ridiculous, and they're like, hey. Can you think we can do the most ridiculous stunt ever and then times it by 2 and then have the Rock flip upside down and shoot a rocket out of his cock? Great. Let's do that and call it Hobbs and Shaw.
I'm buying the tickets right now.
Right now. They have advanced tickets. I have the Cinemark app. Yeah, it's the stupidest trailer I've ever seen. And I want to see the movie because the trailer is so stupid. I've never seen stuff so ridiculous. I feel like the whole movie, they should just the whole movie's a green screen. There's no way they have any normal scenes. Everything's green screen. They're like, yeah, we're just going to have you guys flying upside down the whole movie, trying to say your lines while you're doing it, punch each other, maybe work out, and and we're going to have a car fly over your head. I just need you to jump on it and then turn it upside down and then throw it to Jason Statham. He's going to throw it to the bad guy, and then he's going to eat it, and then you guys are going to kill him. That's what the movie looks like.
I'm so pumped to see this movie now.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. But Stuber looks like the stupidest shit ever. I'm still going to watch it because it's quote-unquote a comedy and I like both the actors. But a blind cop that relies on Uber. And he's like, don't forget to give me a good rating or whatever. So it's like the whole movie is going to have awful Uber jokes. I already know it because they did an Equalizer with Lyft. He's a fucking Lyft driver. Give me 5 stars, bitch. And break your neck.
That was cool, though.
Yeah, it was cool, but now they're gonna use it for jokes, and it's just
Equalizer, the sequel to the Equalizer 2. They better call it there.
They better call it that. Did I tell you I had a good idea for a male nail salon?
No.
Called Males, because it's male nails and it's done by males, and men go there. It's a men's only place. Yeah, it's like
no follow-up questions or comments.
It's a double or triple entendre. I think it's gonna work out. It's gotta find investors. Because nail salons are popping up everywhere. So we need a sanctuary for guys to go. There needs to be getting their nails done, tits, beer, wings, sports. Be the ultimate nail shop, dude. I'd be packed.
All right, well, man, I
Any more thoughts on Spider-Man?
just remember me whenever you get that big off that idea. Yeah, we just gotta give it.
Oh, the ratings.
Yeah, just gotta give it a rating.
Because so you ranked. We both ranked it pretty much number 1 for now. We're gonna probably do a little follow up when we re-see it. For now, I'm gonna give it a Fuego.
Fuego as well. I don't think there's a way it could probably slip into Mad Decent, but it's possible. I mean, I don't think it's likely, but yeah, great movie. Really enjoyed it. I'm kind of annoyed now that you said that there's really no good movies that have come out this year, because like I've realized like we're in like July and I really haven't enjoyed a whole lot that isn't Marvel.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've seen 10 other movies. You know, that's a pretty decent amount of movies for a year. And where is it? Like,
all of them are forgettable. If I've seen other movies outside of Captain Marvel, Avengers, and Spider-Man, I've forgotten them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I can't think of what I've
Godzilla.
seen. Yeah, sucked. I already forgot about that. That's how bad. I mean, I already forgot. I saw 2 weeks ago. I already forgot. That's how bad it was.
Oh man! All right, man.
I think that's already out of theaters. No shit. Like I don't think I looked at movies today. I don't think I saw a Showtime for it.
That doesn't surprise me because that movie was pretty bad.
I don't think I saw a Showtime for it. So I think some of the scary movies are doing okay, but I don't watch scary movies, so I don't have an opinion there because those might be good, but I don't watch them.
Yeah, I don't.
Annabelle Comes Home is out right now or something like that.
You could not drag me to that theater.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know. It's got to be like a really interesting or something premise for me to even be remotely interested in.
It 2's coming out this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that.
Okay,
I'm gonna probably see that. The Quiet Place 2 next year. See that for sure.
How? What? A sequel?
Yeah.
Honestly, not excited. That movie doesn't need a sequel.
No, it doesn't. But it's Hollywood.
Jeez.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, we got that coming out soon.
Ooh, I am looking forward to that. I'm still gonna be skeptical.
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not.
Still skeptical.
I'm really checking my expectations. You know, I'm really trying not to be like as hyped as possible
Leaving at the door.
because I want a Scorsese film. I don't want a Tarantino film, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be probably a Tarantino film, which means it'll be good, but I won't love it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just not. It's not
Literally, if you took this whole movie and put Scorsese, yeah, I'd be like,
yeah.
This is gonna be the movie. But I'm interested to see Joker too. That's the other one I'm hyped for.
Yeah.
But again, I already said hyped for a number of reasons. I'm not expecting it to be amazing, but it could be.
I hope it's at least terrible or awesome. I don't
You
want
don't
to be
want a middle.
bored. I just don't want to be bored seeing that movie. I don't want to. Either one.
At the
just
same
like
time, if it's terrible though, like if it's terrible to the point where like, you know what I mean?
you know what I was thinking about this today. Like I haven't walked out on a movie at like under my own will, basically. So I basically haven't walked out on a movie. I would like to walk out on a movie. I would like it to be so bad I just walk out of the theater on it. But at the same time, I really don't want that.
I don't want it for
because
Joker.
No, I don't want that for Joker either. I don't know if there's a way I could walk unless he's just literally farting into it like a balloon or something for like 2.5 hours. And I'd be like, well, I've sat here for 90 minutes. Like, I think I got to leave now.
I think I get it. I think I get it. There's only an hour left. I'll just risk it and go and not see how this.
It's rated R, by the way. They confirmed it's rated R.
Yes.
So
that'll save it. That'll help.
yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm excited because that movie has potential, but it's still superhero movies. I love them. I like comic book movies. I'm not saying I don't, but I do love other movies to be good, and that hasn't happened.
I want some variety, you know?
Yeah, that hasn't happened
I'll
yet.
definitely get burnt out if this is all there is every year.
We'll see. I will too. But at the same time, Marvel, Disney, whoever, killing it. And now they're just going to have more characters since they bought Fox.
Yeah.
And
I don't think they'll do it for a while, though, because I think those characters have kind of been played out.
Oh, yeah.
And no one wants to really see anyone as Wolverine right now, anyway. I think it's a little too soon.
X-Men's played out, but I would love it if they picked up Deadpool. As long as they kept Ryan Reynolds.
There's a rumor that they're going to... Oh, dude, thanks for saying that. That is that's their other rumored movie in 2020 is Deadpool 3.
And it's Marvel, though.
Yeah.
MCU.
Yeah, because Fox can't make any more movies now.
Good. Dark Phoenix was their last one?
That's their last Marvel movie.
Who's making New Mutants? That's
technically Disney.
Ooh.
I think the plan is they're
that's
gonna
their
just
first?
Yeah, I think their plan is they're not even gonna release it. They're just gonna throw it on their streaming service.
It's listed on IMDb as coming to theaters, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
it might not. They
it was.
just pull it.
I saw a trailer for that movie when I saw Blade Runner.
That's true. Me too.
That was September 2017. And it
Yeah.
was supposed to come out like that October or November or something like that, or February of 2018.
Well, since Disney took it over, it makes sense to push it back.
It was pushed back before they acquired, or
Oh, okay.
or before there was ever even any talks of it. And believe me, Fox would have. The way money works, like they would have just put that movie out and been like, "We'll just take whatever we get from this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Like, why do we care? We run this franchise in the ground. We're giving it to someone else in a month anyway."
Yeah. Just throw this turd for what it's worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
That brings up like my last thought on
Deadpool
Far From
3.
Home, is like how great the cast is outside of Spider-Man and like the villain, just like the minor characters, the B-roll people, the people that are not like.
You like Flash?
Yeah, like Flash.
Brad was good.
I like the girl that is dating
Ned.
Like Ned. Like just how good they're written and how funny they are and how awkward they are with each other. I don't understand why other movies can't really nail that, because that to me is something that Marvel has. They have some competition in the action category, I would say, and they have some competition in sort of plot and stuff like that. You know, like they're not the best in every movie for sure, but I really don't understand why other people can't seem to nail that, because I really hate that in almost every movie. Like Godzilla, I hate it.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix, really didn't like it. What other movies did I see
think
this year?
I think it just maybe goes to show that writing is really that hard.
Or casting is really
Yeah.
well done. I don't know which one it is, but it just blows my mind that no one else can really do it that well, because that to me just seems like such an easy thing to nail.
I think it's because also Hollywood's like fucked up, because the more I listen to like comedians on podcasts, you know, comedians are obviously known for doing stand-up comedy. They write it all, they perform it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they get famous enough, they get offered to do movies. And naturally, there's a lot of money in that. And they don't have to come up with material. Somebody writes it for them.
Yeah.
And so they do the movies. And then they have their own podcast. So they'll reflect on some of the stuff. And just some of the way they talk about it, they're like, Hollywood is the biggest money-wasting, time-wasting pieces of shits like out there. Because they'll be like, yeah, they want me on set Thursday, but they're not going to use me. What did I just say? Thursday?
Yeah.
They want me on set Thursday, but they're not going to use me until Sunday. He's like, so why do I have to be there Thursday if you're not going to shoot anything with me in it until Sunday? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
I could be hanging out with my family. Theoretically. And then when they do use me, they'll use me for like 5 seconds. And they'll be like, yeah, no, we're going to do more tomorrow. So it's like, what the fuck? And then they're like, okay, we're going to do all this stuff. And they're unprepared. He's like, they don't have anything ready. And they're like, okay, well, we got to buy this, we got to buy that. Yeah, we'll just throw all the money at it and we'll make it work and it's going to be ridiculous. And then they might not even use that. They'll shoot it, but then it's not in the movie.
Yeah. Like
And
that
then-
Shazam scene.
Yeah. And then one of the other comedians is like, yeah, they did this really funny thing. Like, I had this really funny part in the movie. It was my favorite part of the movie. And I told all my family about it. And then they didn't use it. And they were like, yeah, Bobby, that part wasn't in the movie. And he goes, what? Like,
So it's just really disorganized.
yeah. That's what it boils down to.
So
Is
then
they're
what are they doing that's making it better? Are they just more organized? Is that what it comes
Disney
down?
has that much money. I think that's what
Oh.
it boils down to. Is they have that much money to where they're paying the best writers and they're willing to spend the most money because they have it.
Okay.
Like, they can experiment the most and they can do the most because they have the most resources, the most money, and they've paid for the best people. And I'm assuming they're a decent corporation that takes care of their people. Otherwise, those people wouldn't stay.
Yeah. I would assume they're a decent corporation too, just because of how much hate they get for being so popular. I feel like there would be some bad press somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they're paying to keep it quiet. I don't
Exactly.
know. You don't know.
They're so powerful. That's what it boils down to. Is like other people.
That's kind
just,
of annoying too, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
You want
I
other
don't-
people to do good.
you want some competition. Like competition makes things better, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, and also, they're human. They can't make every single movie. Other people are going to make movies regardless. And so it'd be nice if they were good at it and they could have the resources to be good at it.
It still doesn't make any sense to me why like they struggle with it in Star Wars and like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff.
Because those are Disney entities. I don't know.
Because they have the same amount of money, and
Because-
those movies have huge budgets.
I don't think they're struggling that much on Star Wars. Pirates fell off. And Pirates is because they should have never kept making them.
Okay.
They should have stopped.
That's fair.
They could have stopped at 1, and they definitely should have stopped at 3.
But do you think that any of the characters in Star Wars are as good as any of the main characters in Marvel?
Yes and no, because I do honestly. I like Finn a lot.
Okay.
I love Rey. I don't
like
know
her,
why.
though,
I think
honestly.
I don't.
I know. Face.
Yeah. Dude, Adam. Not that I hate Adam Driver, he's good in other things. He's just I don't like his face as a villain. I don't like it.
They're putting that mask back on him.
Thank God. Honestly, the mask helps. I don't like him without the mask.
I mean, it's nice to have a villain in a mask.
Yeah,
Not,
it
not
helps.
no joke. It really is.
I love Ray for some reason. I think it's because I got a crush on her. I love Ray.
Yeah, she's
and
very
then
attractive girl.
Love Finn, and then and the other movies they what is it? They brought back old characters. I mean, it was Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and Leia. And honestly, I could do without him. I could do without Leia at least.
Yeah.
I could really. I mean, R.I.P. though. Actually, I forgot Carrie Fisher passed away, so I meant like the character, not Carrie Fisher.
The actor.
And then Mark Hamill. Yeah, he's had enough. The problem with Star Wars is, to me, they're too hung up on the Skywalker story, and we've talked about that. And because to me, they're doing fine on casting. It's just it's a little bit of the storytelling. We've had enough of 9 movies of the same family is enough.
Yeah.
So. Because whenever they made Rogue One, it was a whole new cast of characters. Granted, same storyline, but it wasn't really like shoving it up Skywalker's ass. It was a whole new set of people. And it was a great movie, except for them saying the Force is with me or whatever way too
About
many
500 times. Yeah.
And, yeah.
All right, well. All right, dude. Get us out of here.
Nope.
All right, cool.
All right. How long do we go? What's going on here?
About 2 hours.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Well, you guys are welcome. Look out for a longer episode coming up in the near future in the MCU review, because honestly, dude, that might be as long as Endgame. It might take a while because we talked about covering the credit scenes as well as long as the movies. That's 2 different rankings already.
We're going to have to be more organized than normal if we're going to get through that in any sort of timely
We
manner.
will not, guys. I promise you that. We will not be organized. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of The Decent Show. We'll see you next time.
Eddie, the suit. You gotta take it off. Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you?